got my girl working so hard. Now
Sheila, what's going on? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Good morning, Secret, welcome in. Good morning, y'all. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, welcome in for the first time, Secret. How are you? Welcome in for the first time. Welcome in for the first time. If you guys can, please double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Welcome in, New York. Welcome in. Welcome in. It has. I got up. I took a hot and cold shower at the same time, so my body's rejuvenated. It's gonna rain, and I like the rain, so it's gonna be nice and cool in here. It's not gonna be too hot. And it was a long week at work, obviously, but I'm here. I made it to the weekend, man. We all made it to the weekend if we're here, right? Yeah, it's supposed to start raining right now. We all made it here if we made it to the weekend. That's the way I look at it. We all made it here. We made it through the week. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure everybody had either a tough week or a productive week, but mine was tough and productive, but positive, right? So I'm good. I was able to get good enough sleep, so I'm here. I am here. Topic of today. Breaking behavioral habits and traits. I know. It's tough. Not an easy thing to do, right? Not for everybody. So, if everybody here, we got 6 folks here. If you guys can rate your mental 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and be as honest as possible, man. Be as truthful to yourself as possible. No sugarcoating over here. 6 is bad. 6 is right there. It's like a little above average, which is dope. We got 7 positive vibes. I like the energy's back up. I know it was a little low the last couple of lives, so I'm glad to see it at a 7. Mine's is at a 9. I think I'll be at a 10 after this because I got habits I gotta break too, y'all. I got things that I'm working on. You know what I'm saying? So there's things that we're gonna be working on together in here. There's gonna be things we're gonna be working on together in here. We're gonna do this together, guys. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all tune in. Make sure y'all taking notes. If you have your journal next to you, I would always recommend having your journal next to you if you're in here, so you could take notes of the things that you do need to work on, the things that you need to work on. Cursing about a 2. We're gonna bring that up. We're gonna bring that up, Kimmy. A 2. We're gonna bring that up. By the time you leave here, I'm hoping you at least at a 7 or 8. So stick around. My brother should be coming in soon. My sister should be coming in soon. If you guys can, please share out the live. Share out the live for me. That'll be great. If you, I said I gotta stop cursing so much. There's 2 of you in here. Okay, don't get it wrong. I curse like a sailor, y'all. Don't get it twisted, but I gotta work on that too. You ain't by yourself. I promise you. It's like a sailor, y'all. I curse like a sailor. Don't get it twisted, but I gotta work on that too. You ain't by yourself. I promise you. You can be here with therapist if you want. I will keep that in mind. I actually have somebody that's coming in right now that worked on behavioral modification. So she's gonna be coming in soon. She's also one of my hosts. That's here. That's on the other. Did you guys see this though? Tell me this is not fire though. Like, honestly, I created this like I want to say Monday or Tuesday. Tell me this shit ain't fire. This is like official monumental mob, like the mob family You know what I'm saying? Like we really in here though. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Or me go over here looking like a mob boss for real in real time. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys can't keep tapping the screen, keep tapping the screen, keep sharing the live. Everybody's pulling up. Keep sharing the live out. Share the live out to 15 people. Share that live out to anybody that you think is gonna need this. Good morning, Mama G. Good morning, sis. Sander, I see you in the building. Kristen, I see you pulling up. Welcome in. If you guys are coming in through my content, I appreciate you coming in here and vibing with us. If you guys are coming through the FYP, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, Belly. Oh yeah, I didn't see the front of the hat though. If you haven't seen the front of the hat, this is how the front of the hat look like. Okay. Mika should be here soon. Or Mika's getting herself situated in there. So let me ask everybody, how was y'all week? Like, how was y'all week? What did you guys do this week? I know for the folks that had their 9 to 5, y'all probably worked. But as far as like, on a regular, what'd you guys get done? Listen, Cammy, truth be told, it's not anybody's responsibility to actually correct anybody's behavior, especially if they're not purview to the. Oh, you're their boss. That's different, completely different. No, you know what I'm saying? That's completely different. Yeah, if you're their boss, then you gotta check that. That's different. Or Miga.
Testing, testing, 1, 2. Just
1,
how's
2.
everything going here?
Everything is going fantastic, my guy. What's going on?
Nothing. Just,
Good morning.
Good
setting
morning.
shop up. Good morning. Setting shop up over here.
No, yeah, no. Take your time. Take your time. It's still early, so
No, I
Still
mean,
get myself together.
no, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah,
I'm
this
not,
is
I've been
a
up
lot
since
quicker than I thought.
5:45. So
hey, it sucks to be you right now. I get it.
yeah, I've been up. So I've been up. I've been moving around. Been looking at information and getting myself situated. You know.
Unfortunately, I have not been to sleep. Grandmom's been sick all night, so
Oh no.
I hope she feels better.
yeah, me too.
All right.
Positive Vibe says she loves your content, Mika.
Oh, thank you, love.
Oh man, Mama G, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in.
LT says she got her notepad ready. I love to hear that.
I think right now everybody should go and get their notepad and their pen ready because this is gonna be the one. Trust me.
Right. So anybody that's here, I recommend, especially for this particular live, is bring either your journal or your notepad out because you want to take whatever information is coming out of this, and it's really gonna. We will be taking guests soon, but not right now. We're still starting up. So but just stick around, y'all. Just stick around. It's gonna be an interesting live. I promise you.
If you're interested in coming in, I suggest that you become active on the chat first.
Right.
Interact, get the party started because this is a very important topic.
I didn't block the account. My moderators really don't play in the chat, so I don't know. You got to be careful what you say in the chat. I don't know what was said in the chat that got you blocked. I do apologize if that was the case, but you just gotta be careful what you say in the chat. Be respectful in the chat. Don't do nothing out of the pocket. I don't really give warnings if that's what that's called. I don't give warnings. It just happen. So, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I just asked if you knew who you were. I was speaking of third part being. Don't know what that means, but we'll get into it. You can ask everybody that question. Maybe they'll be able to dive into that.
I'm gonna try this new product also live. I want to see if this works. These are our little earpieces.
Yeah, stick around. Master's my place. My master's place. Yeah, stick around. I seen Precious in the building. Shout out to Precious, my sister. She's also a coach. Somebody I went to school with. Big things, big things. So if you guys see Precious in the chat, make sure you guys give her a follow. Riz Walk in the building. What up, brother?
Testing,
Jason,
testing.
we're good. We're good. Good morning, Nami. Good morning. Guys, are you guys ready for this topic? I mean, we all got habits we got to break, right? Because I feel like this topic is relative to everybody, right? We're not excluded at all by any means. So I want you guys to be clear on that. We're not excluded. We're human as well. So we do have habits that we got to break as well. Homie, you know Homie is he's gonna blow up the internet like he usually does. So we're ready for that. Your other account was unblocked. You're good to go. I seen the notification. So if you want to come back on the other page, go right ahead. Um, I'm at 411. Technically a hobbit. That's hilarious. Hilarious. But we got more people coming in. So everybody that's coming in that's new, rate your mental 1 to 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I'm at a 9 right now. Hormiga, where you at right now?
There is no number that could describe what I feel right now.
Okay, let's go with that. So can you describe how you're feeling?
It's moving so fast that it's not a still number. It's going up and down.
Okay, so you're the Flash.
No, I'm just not steady at one number. I'm
Right.
going up and down because I'm actually going through a real life transition right now as we speak.
Okay, I'm here for it. What's up, sis? What about you?
Um,
Minus what you're dealing with
okay.
currently. Minus what
Huh?
you're dealing with currently. Minus what you're dealing with currently because you did say grandma's sick. So
Oh, I mean
And
that
and
has
and
nothing to
she
do
didn't
with
sleep. And she
how
didn't
I
sleep.
I didn't sleep. That still doesn't take me off of the natural. Because let's just say when minds ascend, they tend to ascend in pairs.
mm,
So I have immeasurable joy, and I am going through a major shift in a different and up. I'll put it that way. So I'm not really feeling any lows or anything like that. I am feeling precautionary where it stops me from making bad decisions. You know what I mean?
right.
But other than that, like I feel amazing. Like
Same. Same.
so um
Right.
if I had to put, I just have to say that it's indefinite.
Okay. Now the reason why I said I'm at a 9 right now is because all week has been a long week of training and a lot of information gathering due to the training I'm doing at my job. So it's been a lot of information gathering. Like it's just more and more information as the day goes by. It's just like more and more information. So it's just like I'm trying to still gather it all in, even though I am at the weekend, but it's still a lot of information for me to mentally gather. So I did what I always ask you guys to do. I wrote all my notes down with everything that I learned throughout the week, right? I wrote all of it down. So I was able to clear my brain a little bit earlier today when I woke up. I took a page out of what Mika taught me how to do. I meditated this morning and kind of breathe a little bit and just it's a good habit, right? It's a good habit to have is to be able to meditate and get your energy right before you do anything for the morning. That's what I did. So in regards to behavioral habits, let's talk about just the word behavior. Right? Let's just talk about the word behavior. So in your definition, right, Mika, not the actual definition, but in your definition, even the fact that you kind of come from that modification background. I remember that's the reason why it was good to have you here. You know what I'm saying? Kind of give everybody your perspective on that.
Behavioral.
Yeah, just the behavioral aspect, not the habits or nothing. Just the word behavioral.
I have to say, it's just your patterns. To
Okay.
me, they're just characteristic, their approach, and it's more of an adjective than it is something that I can. Behavioral is like a, actually, it's an adverb. It's something,
Okay.
it's an action. So your patterns. Um, it's not something you can describe, it's what you do.
Right.
Me, that's what it is. It's your behaviors. They're learned, they're imprinted, they are, I don't know. I feel like Hormiga's going to challenge me on this one.
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
go get it.
They can be, they
Woo.
can be passed on. Uh, Behaviors can be passed on. I think ancestral. They can
Would you
be.
say
Their
they're
patterns.
impulsive? Can they be very impulsive?
Oh, most definitely, your behaviors can be impulsive. Like that's where behavioral modification comes in. Is learning how to control those patterns. That's where. Okay, I'll give you guys an example of what I did when I was in the field with children. They come to the psychiatric facility in which I worked as a residential. They're guaranteed 9 months, at least 9 months. Um, and every entitled, everything, being able to get up to go to the bathroom,
Want me to mute up real quick?
being able to
Yeah, it's catching everything. Yeah, it's catching.
being able to go to the bathroom, being able to speak,
Thank you.
all of those were taken away.
Mm-hmm.
So if you came in extremely independent, all of that was taken away. And then we build you back up. You had to earn them back up by changing those behaviors. So instead of saying, hey, LB, can I get some check? You know what I mean? It was, excuse me, ma'am. It was behaviorally modifying them. So we take away everything and slowly give you back
A piece at a
everything that
time.
we all take. Yeah, everything at a time. And the things that we take for granted, being able just to speak to someone. Okay, and in my age range was from 6 to 18.
Okay.
But in my particular resident, I had from 6 to 13.
So basically, the ages that still be able to kind of like not manipulate, but their brain still fresh.
You can still mold them.
You can still mold them in a sense. Okay. All right.
Because I
Cool.
mean, if you think about it, the minute that a child is given birth, you're a parent.
Mm-hmm.
That behavior, that baby is developing behaviors. Then
Right.
they're realizing that if I cry, I get attention. If I cry, they come pick me up. If I cry, I do this. Right? They're realizing that there is a cause and effect, and they're putting two and two together. Right? I mean, it's kind of amazing to watch. I think I was blessed when my grandson was born
Right.
because I literally saw him minutes after being born come in, and he's like,
He just sees the world already.
yeah, he's
Like,
seeing the world. He's opening his eyes. He's going like this, and I'm like, hey, how are you? Right. So I'm one of the first people that's sitting there talking to him, and I'm like, oh, baby. I'm like, hi. Yeah, that's your eye. That's your hand. And he's looking at his fingers. He's going like that. So those are phalanges. You know what I mean? So like I'm giving him something to look at. So right there, that's imprinting something into his brain, whether or not he remembers it or not. That's something that's being programmed into him.
right. So it's me as is a behavior reaction to a feeling that comes from a thought. No, there's no thought. Most of the time, there's no thought to a behavior or a habit. It just happens, right? It comes with no little thought. It comes with very little thought, actually. Because with me, Like when my impulse is kicking for certain things, I don't think about it. I just do it, and then I think about it after the fact. I think about it after the fact. It's like kind of like anger management. Like you're so angry, and then when you do something, you're not thinking about what you're doing at that moment. But when you calm down and you settle down, then you think about what's being done after the fact. It's kind of like the same thing, guys. It
So
really is.
can I give the dictionary version before you slide it over to my brother up here?
Go right for it. Go right for it.
Behavior, noun, the way in which one acts or conducts oneself, especially towards others,
Right.
i.e., his insulting behavior towards me, or i.e., his amazing behavior towards me, the way in which an animal or person acts in response to a particular situation or stimulus. Phrases you always hear: be on one's best behavior when we go out, guys, or I'm gonna whip your ass. You know, one of those type of things when you're going out to the mall with
Right.
me. You know, don't act a
Right.
fool. You
Yes.
know, one of those things. And then another one would be the way in which a natural phenomenon or machine works or functions. So, like even vehicles and inanimate objects that we think have behaviors. We expect to be able to get into our car and for it to cut on, press on the gas, and for it to move, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a behavior.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. I hope you guys are writing this down because you guys are getting some free gems here. Hormiga, same question.
Let me breathe in real quick.
Take it in. No doubt over.
Okay, in simpler terms, it's the way you operate. It's how you function. Is what you do during situations. It's how you conduct yourself, how you treat people, how you treat yourself. That's behavior. Um, but it's different from your thought process because behavior is what you display.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we do what we think. Sometimes we have the ability to stop ourselves from doing what we think. That's control. That comes from emotional intelligence.
Right.
We cannot confuse the two. Although most behaviors come from your emotions. Because if you are emotionally driven, then that's what you're expected to do. That's the way you operate. You operate from an emotional place, or you operate from a different stance. So let's go back to what we lead with. If you're consistent about what you lead with, right? If you are a person that is consistent with how you lead, then that is your behavior. But if you lead differently and your intentions seem to fluctuate, then there is a disparity between your behavior and your emotions. Therefore, you can learn everything you want. You could be the most knowledgeable person on earth. And for those that have gained a lot of knowledge, kudos to you, right? I'm not taking anything away from you. But I told you this 3 years ago. You are not an intellectual unless you put the things that you know into play. That would be considered your behavior.
Right.
You see, what you do with something that you have is your behavior. If you do nothing with what you know, then you have something for nothing because you're not putting it into play. So is that lack of behavior? Listen to what I'm saying.
Good morning.
So you could lack behavior. Then there's what we call proper behavior, right?
Right.
Etiquette, right? Etiquette is
Right.
what
Proper etiquette. Yeah.
etiquette is more of a facade, if you ask me, because it's the ethics that are actually superseding all of that. Ethics, internal ethics, morals, right? And ethics
Mm-hmm.
supersede etiquette by a long shot. So again, let's say you lead, I told you I lead with love, right? And I do it
Right.
consistently. And it's been working for me like never before. I wish I could have done this before, but I couldn't because I didn't understand what true love really is, right? Until I started digging deep into myself. And since we're on the topic of habits, we're going to learn today. Let me tell you something. We're going to learn today because habits is not what people think it is, but habits is everything. You see what I'm saying? Like it's all about habits, and it's not about removing. It's also about putting some
Means
habits into play
putting some habits into play,
and
removing some habits,
and
removing some
maintaining
food.
these habits. Maintaining these habits. That's the key there.
We forgot one more,
Come on,
right?
there's more than that.
No, there's more than that, but there's another one that's very important, right? Removing those temporary habits, good and bad.
Some habits are temporary. Some habits are to be just catapults for long-term lifestyle.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I'm right with you.
We
I'm
gotta
right
we
with
have to we have to choose a lifestyle that is conducive, right? To fulfill what we believe are our needs. Can't chase the wants because if you chase the wants, then look at how you behave. Don't you change your behavior when you chase the wants instead of the needs? Isn't your behavior different? Mika, think
you.
about
Amen.
this.
Welcome in, brother.
Think about this. Don't we act differently towards our wants as we do towards our needs? We don't really want to do the needs. They feel like chores. The wants
Right.
are the desires, those temporary desires.
What's going on, my brother?
And
Welcome
we
in.
do change behavior, right? When it comes to wants and needs. So what happens when you combine the wants and needs? What if you start wanting your needs?
Life
Mm,
becomes much more enriched.
Now, the ones that you once needed, because wants most of the time are little temporary things that we want, like little desires.
right.
And they could be materialistic, it could be clothes, it could be food, it could be a lot of things, even the small things that lead to other shit. I'm saying all this just to give people a heads up of where I'm going today. I'm going to talk about nutrition.
You can dive
I'm
into it.
going to talk about nutrition because none of this matters if the food that you eat is garbage. Because you'll have all this knowledge and you can't do anything about it because the food that you eat is going to make you behave in a different way. How about that? If you want to talk about habits, and I can prove that because I ate well the whole week, and then yesterday I ate garbage, and today I'm not the same person in just one day.
Have you noticed that? Like, yo, all right. So
In
I'm glad
just
that you
one
brought that up.
day, in just one day of breaking a habit, I'm ready to go astray and go eat cookies and go eat this and drink that and do this.
I'm
And
glad
you
that you brought
understand?
that up. I'm glad that you brought that up because all week, right? Because I've been on this kick of fruits lately and drink and eating like this
Speak on
regular
it.
like and this regular sandwiches, something small, nothing too heavy on my body, right? Nothing too crazy. So I've eaten a lot of fruits. I've been eating a lot of sandwiches, but then I made some pasta the other day, right? And I ate it, and my stomach just felt like awful. I don't know why, but my body was just like it just wasn't feeling it, right? It was my body became accustomed to the fruits, to the good stuff that I was doing, to drinking water, and you know what I'm saying. It came accustomed to it for those days that I was doing it, and then the one day that I decided to not do it was that my body just wanted to reject it all. Anything else that I didn't put in my body that wasn't on the regular that I was eating, it rejected it because your body knows what it needs. Your body knows what it needs. And the second you give your body something that it doesn't need, it will reject it. Like immediately. Like and then for the people that have weak stomachs, if you eat something, if you're eating something on the regular, especially if it's healthy for you and it's good for you, and then you decide, oh, I just want to, take a little break. Let's go get some chicken wings. Let's go get like a calzone or something. And then
Watch
and
Find
this.
out
then
the hard way.
you find
That's
out the
the
hard way when you're in the
what.
bathroom.
Watch this. This is for the. Watch this. I'm gonna make a cross comparison for the guys that are in the audience. Listen up, and the girls that are into cars and mechanics. Watch this. A transmission has a transmission oil, and throughout the years, little metals go into the oil, and they are running around in the transmission like in the pan area, right? And then there comes a time where you might have to flush your transmission. A good mechanic will tell you it might be better to leave it the way it is because it's already used to in habitual form to run with those metals the way it is. You might be causing more damage by removing those metals. The body is the same way. The body is the same way. That's why sometimes you don't flush the transmission because it's too late, because it's going to cause damages on the other parts of the car. Now we're talking about the organs in the body, right? I'm not going to dig too deep into the medical part of the body. I'm going to talk about habits. I'm going to talk about habits because you can learn anything you want, right? But if you're not taking a physical approach to anything mental, remember the mind is an organ that is physical. So,
Right.
well, I don't never say you are what you eat. I say you are what you absorb because it has to do with energy, spirituality, intelligence, vocabulary, who you surround with. There's a lot of factors involved and a lot of moving parts to try to get this right, man. This is not just a one-day process. This is not an overnight success thing. It
This is
takes
not a one day conversation either. We're gonna have another live
no,
about
no, this is gonna get crazy because habits is where it's at, man. And it's not until you recognize what you are actually a habit of, like what your actual habits are, like when you really dig deep into what you're actually doing, like, wait, I was doing that? Wait a minute, I was doing that? When you go to have those
it.
self-reflections and you look in the mirror, right, Mika? Talk to me, man. When you look in the mirror and you go, I was actually doing that.
Okay, I need to address something. Guys, I'm not watching the chat. When I have these conversations, I don't really watch the chat because I don't want to get distracted off of the conversation in which we're having right now, especially when there's something this is something I take, very, very, very seriously. It's not for entertainment purposes, it's educational purposes for me. So if I didn't speak to you, I apologize, but I'm saying hello to everyone now. I'm saying love. I'm not being sedity. I'm not ignoring anyone. I just want to let you all know collectively I say hi. But I like to stay involved in what I am speaking about because I am neurodivergent. So I will get pulled off to another one.
So we're gonna let people up in a little bit. We're not doing it right
Oh,
now.
damn, I don't take it personal. I just want to let everybody know straight off the jump. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Shout out to Damien. You know what I'm saying? That's what he wants. He wants a shout out. Give him a shout out. Shout out
what's
to
up? Shout out,
Damien.
Damien. Big
Shout out to
Damien.
Damien in the
What's
chat,
up?
man.
Let's
If you guys never
go.
follow, if you're not
Let's
following
go.
Damien, make sure y'all follow him because when he go live, he go live.
Yes, he's in the chat. He has
He's
another
in the
thing
chat.
going on, and we all work together here. And Mika, please help me out with this self-reflection when you see what habits you actually become aware of for the first
Yeah, we're
time.
gonna be getting everybody. We're letting people up around like 10:30 or so. We're just gonna
There are,
focus
I will
tonight.
put it like this.
Yeah.
There are so many different ways of understanding. There's so many different theories. I'm going to give you guys two models. One is called a trans theoretic model, and then the other one is social cognitive theory. Right? You look those up, it'll tell you the stages of change. According to the trans theoretic model, people go through 5 different stages of changing their behavior. One is pre-contemplation, which is reflecting, right? Contemplation, in which you begin to recognize the need for change. That's what you're talking about right now. And then you prep for it. You say, okay, I'm going to start make these changes, and then you put them into action. And then you maintain it, right? Doing what you're doing whenever you see, I got sidetracked. I had a whole thought too to back you up, Formiga.
Go with it. No, go with it. Go with it. Go with it. Don't stop
Okay.
yourself. Go with it.
But whenever you start doing those effective strategies for changing your behaviors, are goal setting, self-monitoring, reinforcement, and rewards, giving yourself rewards.
Time out. Time out. Time out. Time out. Stop at the reinforcement. Stop
Okay.
at. Please help people understand what reinforcement looks like. Please.
Positive reinforcement and rewards can motivate you to maintain these new behaviors. So if you are changing the way that you eat, right, and the effect of you changing the way that you eat results in you dropping a few sizes in clothing, your reward can be to go out and buy yourself a new outfit, something that is affordable every month, and let go of something that you no longer fit. Donate it, throw it away, burn it, do whatever you want to do with it. I recommend donating it to someone that might need it. And Changing that behavior is you're removing the old, inserting it with something new, which is your behavioral reward for that, right? That's your reinforcement and your reward for doing that. Now, say if it is, like Teddy said, he changed his diet, right? You changing your diet is going to change the way that facial hair of yours is growing in, right?
It has.
It
It
has.
has. It
You
has.
changing, you know what I mean? You changing your diet is going to change the way that your skin is glowing, the way that you feel. You're going to, not necessarily have to lose weight. You might gain muscle mass and gain a little bit of weight, but you look leaner.
I'll tell you guys this. I'm not as exhausted as I used to be. Because when I used to wake up, I just didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to really get up. I didn't want to move. And when I started eating the things that I used to eat, like fruits, grapes, apples, bananas, things of that nature, it kind of shifted me a little bit. Drinking water. I still have the kick of soda here and there, but it's like I'm still trying to break that. Obviously, that's not an easy thing to break. But no, I feel better. I feel much better. I've been hitting the gym, as you guys know. I've been in the gym since I started my job. Been hitting it for like at least 3 or 4 days out of the week, for like a good hour or so, and just trying to foster a new behavior.
Listen,
Definitely.
just to back up what both of you guys are saying, food definitely has a significant impact on behavior through different type of mechanisms, including biochemical processes, psychological influences, and your social factors. Okay, so let's do the relationship between diet and behavior is complex and multifaceted, guys. So it doesn't, it's not just one or two things. It is literally involving the interplay of nutrients, your brain function, and your mood regulation. The biochemical effects, the nutrient intake. As someone said in the chat just now, everyone's body absorbs things differently.
Yeah.
You got to take those into effect. You'll see. I just got finished taking my vitamins. I've substituted so much stuff for 2 pills: Moringa oleifera and lion's mane. Those are the only ones I take right now on a regular. And my mood has changed. I am sleeping better whenever I don't have outside factors in. I'm focused, and I need to be focused on what I have going on socially in my life and professionally and academically going on in my life. So you really have to, whenever you're changing behaviors, you got to take all of that into consideration,
Right.
right? Changing how you eat, when you eat, how many times you eat a day.
So I love this conversation, right? But I know where I want to go with this. But I'm gonna let you guys have it for now, right? I'm gonna let you, because this is you guys. As far as the nutrients, I'm still learning like everybody else is learning. So I'm here
See
taking
that
it.
that's the thing. See, I keep trying to promote and advocate to tell people that life is a jigsaw puzzle. You're gonna get information from different places, right? And you need to keep it all, bad and good, so you can learn how to decipher between what is relevant and what is not. People think
Right.
that they want to get rid of and avoid bad stuff. Can't avoid it. Utilize it to your advantage, because sometimes it's not what you know, it's what you shouldn't do. You understand what I'm saying? So you can learn a lot from a dummy. The government was trying to give you the golden nugget. You can learn a lot from a dummy. Listen to that. You
So
can learn a lot from
Adidas,
a dummy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Crash test dummies.
Adidas, Adidas, stick around for a little bit. At 10 o'clock, around 10 o'clock, 10:15, I'll start looking for it. And then you guys can ask as many questions as you guys want. Just be
shout out to
respectful, like you
Chris.
guys want to do.
Shout out to Chris. Shout out to everybody that's out there. This conversation needs to happen. This might turn into a series of 2 or 3 conversations, because you're gonna hear it. I
Okay.
promise you.
Because I know everybody has questions in regards to the type of habits that they can break, and how they can foster a new behavior, a new attitude. Trust me, we're all here to learn. We're all here to educate. We're all here to be the teacher and be the student. So we're here together, collectively.
Let me ask you a question. And this is for you, Teddy. When you think about behavior, what did you what was your intention on focusing in this live? Like where was your bubble gonna be at? Because I know that Mika is with the psychology, right? And with the
Mhm.
and then she will bring the spirituality into it eventually, right? And then, but I wanted to know what you thought because it's not gonna be what you think. I promise you that.
I mean, we've had this conversation, so you know where my brain is at.
But where did you
But but
what
just
did you want to do here?
for everybody that's here, right? Because if you guys didn't know, if you guys are not part of my Discord, make sure you guys hit the link to join the Discord. I had my first Discord conversation with my people last Sunday, and just hearing the conversation that was being had, I feel like during their journey of healing, their process of breaking their traumas and breaking their triggers, I heard some habits. You get what I'm saying? That was really just that was very concerning in a sense, right? Because it didn't seem like it was habits that were instilled just on their own. They got it from somebody else. You get what I'm saying? Like the habits were taught by other people. So I wanna dive into the habits of breaking habits of relationships, right?
Mm.
I want to dive into the breaking generational habits
Oh,
and spiritual habits.
oh no.
I know. It may. You see how fast Mika looked up when I said
Oh, wait, let me stretch out. Hold up. Wait. All right,
because
because I wanted to touch nutrition because nutrition is the core. I saw a message yesterday, and the reason why I asked you that today is because I'm gonna ask you something weird. And get ready for this, Mika. You're gonna have to piggyback for him on this one. All right, watch this. Listen to this statement. This is for you, Teddy, and for everybody that's listening. Pay attention closely, please. Psychology is the science of behavior,
the
not the
more
study, not
inflammatory,
but not the study of consciousness.
right? Say that again for the people in the back.
Consciousness,
I can't say it.
the
I can't say
I'm
it.
gonna say it slowly. I'm gonna say it slowly. I'm gonna say it slowly
into
for all the
spirituality.
psychiatrists, for all the psychologists, for all the coaches, for all the gurus, for all the Gandhis, for all the Moses, all the prophets, right? All the TikTok greats, right? I'm gonna say it one more time. Psychology is the science of behavior, but not the study of consciousness. So are they saying, for the lack of what I just said, that behavior is not being conscious? Go ahead, Teddy.
Is that what we're doing?
That's what we're gonna do.
Uh, man.
Because behavior is deep. It's deep. It's not just one little door, bro. It's not just, oh,
No,
look, he
it's not.
behaves like this or she behaves like that because of this or because of that. I'm sorry. There is so much mathematics going on, the way people act and the way people behave.
I'm gonna go in the aspect. I'm gonna go in the aspect of growing up. I'm gonna go in the aspect of being grown up, right? In the aspect of growing up and seeing things when you're growing up, because I know we've all been there. So I'm gonna go to something that we're all relatively um understood, that can be understood, that's been experienced, right? So, and I'm gonna dive real deep into this one because I know a lot of people don't recognize that they do this, but your behavioral traumas, right? They attach to your children. Let's want to say that out loud, just to give everybody, that understanding. The traumas and the stuff that your kids and the habits that you see your kids do, and you be like, oh, I used to do this when I was a kid. That comes from the things that you've dealt with in your life that you chose not to figure out, heal from, break from. And then your children start to adapt the same things that you've done. That's that. That's that. Because you know how when we recognize some shit like that, like, oh, damn, Mike, I used to do this when I was a kid. I used to do this when I was a kid. Yeah, I know, because your kids are doing it and they're learning from you. and they're seeing the things that you do, but you don't even realize that you're teaching your kids these things until it's too late. But your parents didn't realize they were teaching you these same things until it was too late. But as an adult, sometimes we have to open our eyes and realize we're not doing the right things, right? Sometimes it takes for us to see our children doing these things or somebody that we're close to doing these things for us to realize what we're doing is really not the right thing to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not really doing the right thing for real. You know what I'm saying? So let's understand. I just want everybody to understand where I'm coming from. That's why I gave that example, because we hear that a lot, especially for us parents, grandparents, right? We hear that a lot. Oh, damn, our kids are doing the same thing that we're doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? But those are from your past traumas, triggers, behavioral habits that you've gained from your family, friends, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters. But I'm gonna let her. I see Mika's turning red over there, so I'm gonna let her go.
So I'm going to back you up with that
Go for it.
because my mom passed a few years ago. I'm gonna
Hey.
back up real quick. I'm gonna say behavior refers to the observable actions and responses that an organism has to external and internal stimuli, right?
Let's go.
So you can see these behaviors through motor actions, physiological responses like your heart rate, the sweating, all of that, and your social interactions, right? Characteristics of behavior, as I said, they're observable, they're external, variable, and goal directed. So, giving a case in one point, my mother has been deceased for several years. Okay. My mom had this habit of grazing while she eats. She would go into the refrigerator and she would make these little sandwiches she would use bread. I don't use bread, right? And she'd have a plate around her in which she ate off of throughout the evening. And she always took it with her to bed. All right.
Okay.
That was her midnight snack. I found myself, the way that she would hold her sandwich and the way she would do her fingers like this, I saw my mother in me. Not so many, so many times over the past year or two, I've noticed that I had taken on a lot of my mother's characteristics, right? I didn't know it. Mind you, I have not lived with my mother in years. But what you just said is very true, because this is sitting beside my bed. Guess what was on it? A little sandwich that I had eaten whenever I got up in the middle of the night and I was a little hungry. You feel where I'm coming from? And I always have a little plate of something beside me for other reasons of something to eat. And I'm always snacking throughout the day. So these are behaviors that can be passed on. Now, let me pull back to Formiga real quick. Psychology and consciousness are indeed, behavior and consciousness are indeed different. They're interrelated through the psychology and neuroscience, each of them playing a role in how we act in our experiences. However, consciousness is, it refers to a state of being aware, right? Of and able to think about your own existence, your thoughts, and your surroundings around you. Being aware of not just you, but being able to perceive not just your point of view, but someone else's point of view, the environment and the internal states that it has on your body, the reaction that your body has. When you go deeper into consciousness, you start self-reflecting You look at your subjective experience, your personal experience to other things. We do the shadow work, right? In which we tell people so quickly,
Okay.
we tell people so quickly, go back, look at the situation from an outside point of view, right? Look at it, accept it, take the lesson, forgive. Forgive yourself, the person, and the situation. Wrap it up with love and send it back out to the universe because it's something that's not meant for you to hold on to.
Right. That you know what you just proved right now? I'm gonna tell you what you just proved. Watch this. You just proved the difference between a psychiatrist, psychologist, and a coach. You see, because a coach is going to help you with your mindset. Your mindset is what's going to determine how you self-evaluate yourself and a whole bunch of other things. Sometimes people get the wrong impression of what a psychiatrist or a psychologist is supposed to do. You understand what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's more about self-reflection than anything else. But if there are walls and parameters that do not allow you to think that far, you have to deal with those walls first. And usually is what you said, because it's about doing the shadow work. It's about going back in time, self-reflecting, looking at yourself, going back to that child and, telling that child, it's okay. Nobody did it for you when you was a child, right? So you have to go back to that child and visit your child and talk to that child and say, hey, it wasn't your fault. I forgive you. I forgive you. This is you as an adult going back to a child who is you, telling your child, hey, I'm here to save you. I'm here to tell you that it's okay. I'm here to tell you that forgiveness and forgiving yourself is the only way out of this.
I had a client that I was working with, and I'm not going to go too far into depth with it because of confidentiality, but I'm just
Hmm.
going to give you a broad. I had a client that we were working
So
with.
thank you.
We were talking about something that is affecting this person in the now. And I said, you need to go back and look at that little person. I'm going to keep it very generalized. Look at that little person and tell that little person, I'm here. I've got your back. You're stronger than what your parents said you were. You are not nothing. You are everything. And you look at that person and you tell them in the now, go back there mentally, go back there. And every one of those moments in which that person said to you, you're nothing, you tell them, no, I'm everything. And you build yourself up from that point, coming back up.
Right.
And let's revisit this in 2 weeks. And so let's sit with that. You do that work, you journal, you do the work, and let's revisit it in 2 weeks. It's hard to do, guys, but you can do it. You just have to make sure you have the right people around you. You have the right support system. And when you have someone and you're reaching out to people for these type of guidances and this coaching I just so happen I have, you can call me a trifecta because I also have the psychology behind it. I'm also a coach and I'm also a spiritualist.
Hey, Nay.
So when you
What's up, Boudreaux?
combine all of that together, you get a lot.
What's
And
good,
you're the same.
Right.
Yeah, I have to agree 100% with you. You see, now the thing is that I see it in you, Mika, that you're just giving bits of information, the depth of this and the deepness and how far down we can go with this. This is not going to be one conversation. It's not going to be two conversations because habits is everything, and people have the wrong impression of what habits are. Habits are patterns of things or processes that you are in, whether you know it or not. Sometimes they're intentional, and sometimes you're in it and don't even know you're in it. So, what do we need to do, right? Don't we need to have some type of awareness to know if we're in some type of a assembly line that
Right.
continues to do? Isn't that what you was talking about? A generational curse is one of those type of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said you also started with parents, right? That
Right.
we inherit these
Exactly.
traits, right, from our parents because of what we see, right? Because sometimes we're visual learners, right?
Right.
What I'm saying is this: we need to start looking at all the habits that we don't even know that we're in. Because we know the intentional ones, right? We set out to do things, right? And we have to create some type of a habit, which is a process or a pattern of some sort, right?
Right.
But then we also need to know how long does that habit exist. You know how we say people are in your life for a reason or for a season? Well, that's the same way you have to treat habits. You have to treat habits as though you have to decipher between, is this a habit that I'm using to get to a certain place where a result is, or is this a longer habit, or is this leading to a lifestyle? That's where we need to do is differentiate the importance and the relevance of our habits.
I think a lot of habits, as of recently, if we can talk transparently, if we do, in the last 4 years that we've been here, I think a lot of habits that we've seen are stagnant. It gives people a lot of stagnant behaviors, which is why people are here, right? This is why people are here. People are here to break habits and learn different perspectives and give themselves abundance of information so that way they can learn a different variation of themselves. But
Now,
in order to do that, in order to do that, people have to come with the realization that everything that they know about themselves is not the true version of themselves.
wow. So I got a question for you. Somebody said something in the chat that just alerted me, and they said it in one way. I'm gonna say it in another way. Can racism be a habit?
Yes, absolutely.
It's
But
a
we're not. Gonna,
behavior.
but we're definitely not diving into that shit.
But not.
No, but no.
I already said the word she said was bias, but I went straight into racism because that's the one that catches people's attention really quickly. So because I see people in the chat sleeping and not paying attention. I did
No,
that on
no,
purpose.
you hit it on the nail. It is a habit. It is a
So any
hold
bias
on.
can
Let me
any
finish.
bias be a habit?
Let me elaborate on that.
Go ahead.
We're not gonna dive into it, but I'm gonna elaborate.
All right.
It is a habit, but it's also a learned behavior and taught behavior. It is a taught behavior. A lot of the things that we do as adults were taught behaviors growing up, right? Good and bad, temporary or not temporary. Most of it were taught behaviors. The only reason why I know that is because the way that I raised my kids and the way that I treat my kids was the way that my mom raised me. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I caught myself doing things my mom would do, and I had to break those habits because not everything that my mom taught me was the right thing to do. So it's
Can we say instead of being taught, can we say they're learned? Because
yeah,
sometimes we inadvertently teach our children bad habits by just
more
doing it.
than
We're not trying to instill it in them, but this is what we do. Because sometimes as parents, we contradict the hell out of ourselves. Do as I say, not as I do. I can
I
tell
hear
you
that.
how
Oh
many
my
times I heard
God.
that growing up. Do as I tell you, not what I do. You tell me to go sit at the table and put a napkin down, cross my legs and say prayer. But as soon as you get your food, you start digging into it. You're not even saying thank you, nor are you washing your hands. So exactly what am I supposed to do, Mom? Because I'm looking up to you for guidance. Do as I tell you, not as I do.
Hey, London.
Right? That's where the consequences and the rewards come into play.
I mean, it's true, man. Like this is a lot. There's a lot goes into this, man. And I think I want people to understand where we're coming from when we're doing this live. Like we're probably breaking habits as we speak. Just talking,
Because
having
people
this
are
live.
self-reflecting right now. I can tell you there's a couple people in here, and can we get real quick a 30-second power time? We had 32 people in here. We only got 20K likes. Let's get this up to at least 30 in the
Yeah,
next.
thank you for that.
Hey,
I
let's keep tapping that
appreciate
screen,
it.
y'all.
Thank you
Sharing
for
out the
that.
live, guys. We got 22 shares. Let's go ahead and get that up to 50. I don't know
We
how
haven't even gotten to the deepest part of this
We
live.
have we haven't even
get
started
some
yet.
people in here because they
Not
need to
even
hear
started yet.
this. These are the positive conversations that you can have, and a lot of people can say, "Oh shoot, we got Hormiga, you got Teddy, you got Mika on this panel. It's about to be some shit." Now y'all about to learn some stuff.
Every time we
Okay,
get together, that's exactly how it happens. So.
learn some stuff. And we all have different ways of teaching or passively teaching. You're gonna learn how that is. Omega, I'm gonna let you elaborate more into that because you know you can passively teach someone how to do it just by implying things. You can put in subconscious
General in the building. Welcome
thoughts into
in.
somebody's head and be like, boom,
Thomas, welcome
here's
in.
the
Melissa, welcome in. I see you
how
guys.
you
Karen, welcome in.
you know. So there are different ways of teaching,
Donna,
different ways of learning, different ways of receiving, and all of that. We just want you guys to be
Ali.
cognizant of these changes, guys. And you know, I really shy away from that word, the two words, behavioral or generational curses. A
Look,
curse to me is something that is
It's
I
very
don't
hard to
like
break,
that
right?
word. I don't like that because that's some deep rooted stuff. Listen to what I'm saying, some deep rooted stuff. But a generational habit can be broken.
It's like that. It's like that gate that was like covered in lava that you don't want to touch.
Yeah, but a generational habit. The minute, let me just tell you guys, this is how, because everybody's like, oh, it's hard to stop. No, it's not hard to break those habits. The minute
It's not.
that you make that decision here and it goes here, and then you speak it and you write it down, the universe hears it. And guess what happens? The change begins then. The intention. The minute that you have the intention of not doing exactly what hasn't been working for your family over hundreds of years, boom, it's changed because you have the intention of making it happen. You just have to follow through, do the work, and give yourself a little reward after you finish doing it.
So I got something for you guys, right? Um,
hmm.
I found some steps and strategies, and I want you guys to elaborate on it. Y'all ready? The combination of following strategies can enable you to break bad habits. It's for bad habits, not behavioral habits. But let's kind of navigate it into behavioral habits in a sense, okay? Identifying the cause of your habits. Kind of dive into what that means for you guys.
Mika already said it. That's looking for the root cause. It's as simple as that. You got to look for the root cause. I'm not saying that it's a simple process, but it's as simple
But
as defining what we got to do is find the root cause.
now, in regards to finding the root cause, right? There's levels to that though. There's
Yes,
levels
there.
to
Yeah,
that.
yes, there is because again, look, let's start off with something. Oh my, here we go, Mika. Let's start off with the word balance. Oh my God. Okay, the farther you are from balance is the farther you have to come back. So that pattern is different for everybody because it depends on how much distance you've created from your balance. Everybody has a different mathematical computation to what that is. That mathematical computation, wow, you got me started. Look, I can't even open my eyes. Hold up.
Oh shit.
No,
Okay,
go
hold up.
ahead. Let me get into
That
it.
mathematical computation is everything that has happened in your life. What you've smelled, what all your senses, everything you've touched, everything you've seen, everything that's in your subconscious,
Mm.
everything that you have witnessed. And let me explain something about subconscious. There are things in your subconscious that you may not think is there. If you was present doing something, it's in your subconscious. You just have to know how to channel that information. Just because you wasn't looking at something, you
Doesn't
heard it.
mean you weren't there.
Trust me, you heard
Right,
it. If you didn't hear it,
right,
you saw it.
right.
If you didn't taste it, you smelt it. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is this, and I'm going to go right back into this. Everybody's
Welcome in, Pamela.
mathematical computation, their life, their lifestyle, though whatever that is, who you are, what makes you, where you come from, what you know, what you don't know, where you're
Val,
going,
welcome
and
in.
all that stuff, right? That is a mathematical equation that belongs to you and nobody else. That mathematical equation is just how far you are from your balance, how far you have drifted off. I'll give you an example. You want to go deep? Okay, guess what? I was able to go back and review my family's generational curses and extract the fun parts and leave the shitty parts behind.
Elaborate on that.
I'm Latino. We dance. We have fun. We have party time. It's a great thing with family. I removed the lack of emotional intelligence my family had through the generational curses. because of the machoism, because of the way things were done, because you're not a voice in the house until you go get a job. Then you go get a job and you still ain't shit. You understand what I'm saying? That sounds familiar. You understand what I'm saying? So in other words, here's the problem. To answer your question from 30 minutes ago, parents do not look at their kids as relationships. They look at them as things to control, things to tell what to do, things
Sometimes
to take credit for, a
to be
trophy.
a commodity.
Sometimes, I hate to say this, they look at them, it's weird, like a boyfriend or a girlfriend when they grow up because they don't let them go into the world. But here's the thing, we have to teach our kids that the world out there is not as forgiving as the world that we have, regardless of how bad we are. Regardless of how bad we are to these kids, it ain't nothing compared to what they're going to see out there because everything is out there.
Right.
So, again, here's the thing that I tell parents before you cut the cord, create a cord.
Say that again. Say that
Before
again.
you cut the cord, create a cord. Create a cord, and that's the relationship that we keep messing up. We don't look at our children as a relationship. I know because I did it. I did it. I failed as a parent when I started. I made a lot of mistakes, and that's because I did exactly what my parents did. Didn't allow them to have a voice. Didn't allow them to have emotions. Didn't allow them to express themselves. It was either my way or the highway. And the moment that I self-reflected and I saw what was going on and I took a step back, I'm like, wow, I'm hurting my children more than I'm helping them because I'm not looking at the relationship. I'm looking at the pawn. Some people have kids because they want to have somebody to tell what to do.
It's
Woo!
because they lack any control in their childhood, and they're just like, I gotta have something. So
I'm gonna
let me,
stop talking. I'm gonna stop talking right now.
yeah.
The
Hold on.
listen,
So
the mathematical computation, you have to figure out that math. How far are you from your balance? How far are you from grounding? How far are you from emotional intelligence? How far are you off from controlling yourself to a point where you don't give nobody power to control you? You understand? Like that's what it is.
so I'm glad that you said that because it kind of stems into the conversation I had with my mother recently. Now my mother's going through a stage where okay, I'm gonna say something and people might not agree with me. You guys know me personally. The people that know me personally might disagree just because my energy is a little different with you guys. But I consider myself the black sheep of the family. Hear me out, right? Not because they did me wrong, not because they did anything to me bad. It's because my mentality completely doesn't align with anything that my family does. Like, not even remotely. Like, not even a little bit, right? Because I'm different. Because I don't allow them to manipulate me. I don't allow them to force me to do anything that I don't want to do. And that goes into conversations with my brother, my sister, my mom, dad, stepdad, whoever, aunt, uncle, whatever, right? But, and that's okay. That's okay. But I am the one that everybody comes to when they have problems.
So may I interject something and just pose a question? I just want
Go
to
ahead.
pose a question. Do you feel like you are the black sheep or that, and I'm just posing a question just for you to think about, you don't even have to answer it, that you are different because your level of consciousness is heightened above those who are around you and you see things differently and they can't identify with you because you're on a different frequency than they are? And I'm going to leave it right there. I'm just
I
going
would
to leave
no.
it.
I'll answer that. I'll answer that. I would say
Wait, hold
yes.
on. Before you answer, I want everybody else that's in
To
this
think
chat.
to think
Go ahead
about it.
and go ahead and answer because I want some of this.
To answer that question, yes, right? Because the conversation that I had with my mom kind of opened my eyes, right? Now, I love my mom. 100% 10 toes down. I'll do anything for her if she needed me to, right? But I had to have a come to Jesus moment with her and have her realize that the decisions that she made, not with me, because I feel like she raised me well to have an open mind and to be. I think she raised me differently than she raised my brother and my sister, like completely. I could tell because of the way that I operate and the way that I maneuver. You get what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I was able to see myself and call myself a black sheep, because the way that everybody else outside of my generation was raised
Do you know
is,
why though?
I think, because she learned from her mistakes.
No, do you know why? Do you
That
really honestly, that had nothing to do with her. It had everything to do with who you are and how you were born and the frequency in which you were born on.
okay,
Had to raise you differently because you are meant to be who you are.
yeah, agree,
Okay?
100%.
So it has nothing to do with her. This is your path. You
Right.
see where I'm coming from? She
I see
had
where you're
to
coming
raise
from.
you differently. She had to do things differently for you. And I had to tell you guys that when you start elevating, I went to a family function last week. I'm going to get off of the subject real quick and just give you guys an example, okay? You know how I am with my family. I don't really mesh very well with my biological family. Love them to death, but I can love them. I love them to life. I can actually love them from a distance, right? However, I was being voluntold I had to do a certain thing. They wanted me to MC the whatevers. I wasn't feeling it, right? Mika from 10 years ago, even though I wasn't feeling it, would have been outside out there people pleasing. But I have elevated to a certain level where I'm not going to be uncomfortable because you're vibrating here. I'm here. And when I walked through my family, I noticed who did like this and who gravitated towards me. Okay? And I respectfully stayed where I was happy. You feel where I'm coming from? I respectfully stayed where I was happy. I did exactly what I intended on doing, which was going there, spending time with my family, loving them from a distance, allowing my grandmother to spend time with her siblings. And then when it was done, we packed up and came home. But guess what Mika did not do? Mika did not get uncomfortable at all.
Right.
What I did learn was that the people who used to BULLIED me or BULLY me know their place in my life and know that those days are done. There's a level of respect that I command, that I have, because my presence, I have to say nothing. My presence alone speaks volumes. And you are walking in that purpose. He's walking in that purpose.
That's true.
So understand that the behavioral things that we change with us, right? Because we see it. And the things that when you put yourself into you know where you are, you create those boundaries. Somebody wrote it down there. I've been sneaking looks at the chat.
Damn.
Someone said he created boundaries. My boundaries won't be crossed. And I can guarantee you that the next time I'm invited to another family function, there will be no what I'm going to be doing when I get there. There will be nothing but respect given when I go the next time, because that's what I commanded when I went. Thank you. So now the precedence has been set. And guess what I did? I broke a behavioral habit from my family.
So I think my mom did the same thing when I had that conversation with her. Because when we were speaking on the situation that she's currently dealing with, right? With my brother and my sister, and you know the whole story. You guys know the story of what's going on at the house. I think she had a come to Jesus moment with herself, right? Realizing that she enabled my brother and my sister too much. She enabled them, right? I never allowed her to enable me. That was the thing, like, because I am an observer, like you are, Hormig. I observe things, even at a young age. I was an observer. So if I seen my brother and my sister doing something out of the norm, or my mom allowing them to do something out of the norm, I would do the complete opposite. And it would always cause an argument because I did the complete opposite, right? But when I explained to them why I did the complete opposite is because you guys always told me to not do what you guys did. So when I'm finally listening to what you guys told me to do, you guys are getting mad because I'm not doing what you guys told me. You guys told me to do. So I'm not doing what you CW. What's going on, my brother? So everything that you guys did and you guys wanted me to not foster, I did the complete opposite, right? And you guys were getting mad because I was doing the complete opposite. Because now I'm doing things that you guys should have did, but you guys didn't do. And not just in my success, not in just on a regular basis, right? Doing things that's not allowing you to be controlled by somebody else's behaviors or attitudes or habits. Now at the age of 60 something years old, my mom is doing the same thing, right? She wants peace where she's at right now. She doesn't want to deal with nobody's bullshit. She doesn't want to deal with nobody's energy. She just wants peace. So after having that conversation with her and kind of giving her a come to Jesus moment, because the way that I view it with my relationship with my mom, we're both adults now. I may be your son, but we're both adults. So I'm gonna speak to you as an adult. I'm not gonna speak to you as your son. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna speak to you as two adults, so that way we can have an understanding of what's going on. And me obviously fostering that coaching background that I'm fostering now, it made it easier to have that conversation with her because it's like I took the son aspect out of the conversation. I'm not your son right now. We're not talking as son and mother. We're talking as two adults that need to figure out what's going on. You get what I'm saying? So that's where that came from. And after that conversation, she realized that she did a good job. She didn't have to say it out loud, but her energy was different after me having that conversation with her. The energy was different. So it's like now she's realizing, did I make that mistake with your brother and your sister, not raising them the way that I raised you? Like, she was having that come to Jesus moment, like, damn, because my brother, I want to say that he the military did it to him, but I don't want to give that excuse. There's something wrong with him. I got to figure that out. But there's something wrong with him where he feels like everybody's entitled to helping him do something. He's at that stage of his life right now. And my sister's on the complete opposite side where it's just like whatever. But I feel like I'm stuck in the middle, right? Because I love my family. I want to make sure everybody's doing good. But I also I'm not gonna let them hit my boundaries. You're not touching that. You're not touching that. You're not touching my peace. You're not touching my boundaries. The second you guys get too close, you guys getting stiff armed. Like there's a stiff arm coming your way because there's just no way I'm gonna allow it at all. And my cousins, who I haven't spoken to in 2 years, had messaged me on Facebook and was like, I see where you are. I like where you are. You know how our family is, and the fact that you're not allowing them to do what they did to your nephew, I love that. And if y'all know that conversation, y'all already know that. They already know how that goes. I don't even have to go dive in deep into that one. But I say that to say this, and that's for everybody here. I say that to say this. Boundaries, having balance, creating and fostering peace in your life is the ultimate goal of breaking habits. The ultimate goal to breaking habits. If you allow your love for somebody to constantly put you back in the same mindset with no change,
I think you should leave it right there. Thank you very much. I got you.
I know that's where I
Let,
was gonna
let,
leave it because I know
leave it.
I see
Let
your
me
faces.
let me do something for you. You ready? Let me see. Tell me if you hear this clear. Tell me if you hear this clearly. Hold up. Do you hear that clearly? Do you know what that is? Because we about to get crazy. You want to talk about the black sheep? Let's talk about the black sheep. You're looking at the black sheep, but I was a different type of black sheep. And you just brought something to light to me right now, brother. You don't even know what you just did to me right now. Check this out. You just gave me so much clarity. Now I understand why I defected and became the ultimate black sheep, because I was being treated as the defector by being conscious about what was right and what was wrong with my family. Because I wanted to tell them, I do not agree with some of your tactics. Oh, yeah? Well, you don't have to live here, right? I do not agree with some of your parenting skills. Oh, yeah? Well, you don't have to live here. The door's right there. That type of attitude. So right now, I'm realizing that I went a different route, though. I defected to the streets,
Right.
and I was bullied all my life, and I became that person. I became the anti that. I used to challenge the BULLYs to the point where then I became the BULLY. And that is, exactly what I didn't want to be is what I became. And I was fighting it all my life, trying to say something about it, trying to voice my opinion about what I felt as though was right and wrong and how we could actually make a proper change very early in my life as a young person. So for
Yes.
anybody that has ever felt as though something ain't right, I think it's time for you to go a little bit deeper and don't let yourself, like, if you can't beat them, join them attitude. That is not the right thing to do. And that whole I'll cross that bridge when I get there attitude, no, the time is right now. This is why I teach consciousness. This is why I was trying to make the disparity between psychology and consciousness. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Psychology is the study of behavior, right? Consciousness is being at a place where you are aware of everything that's going on. You understand what I'm saying? Where you are so open minded, right? You're so flexible. You want to learn, right? Because learning is the actual, if you can transmute the same desire that you have for something else into making money or into getting a better body or into living a healthier lifestyle or having a better relationship, let me rewind. Somebody in the chat said to define something that I said. What I said was that people do not look at any relationships as relationships anymore. We do not look at any relationships as relationships anymore. They are everything else except relationships. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that we are looking at relationships for every other reason. Like it's either a trophy, it's either a monetary decision, it's either something that brings something to us that we can't bring to ourselves. It's either that you don't want to be lonely. None of those reasons are good reasons to be with someone. If anything, they're all good reasons if they're all together, but not as an individual way of starting a relationship. The foundations that we have lost in humanity are all habitual. I'm trying to tell people that the game is the emotional intelligence. You can't have emotional intelligence until you realize the things that affect emotional intelligence, the things that get in the way of you having a proper, someone saying understanding of what life is really about, right? So just to close it up real quick, I went through that. And when I told you that I took my family and I took the good things and the bad things and I put it in a filter and I filter all the bad things out, it was all the things that were not conducive. It were all the things that were not prosperous. It was all the things that created negativity. It was all the things that created disbelief. It was all the things that created anything that would shut the voice of a person that had reasonable doubt to contest the way the family was operating. That's what I'm talking about.
So I want to bypass this. I don't even want to skim over what you just said because what you just said was deep as hell. And I'm keeping that in my head. Okay. You said that you were BUL'd to the point where you became the BU person. Guys, we have to be hyper conscious. That's the reason why he's saying consciousness is so important because I want to say fight to the point where you think that you're doing something good. In all actuality, you become and you emulate the behaviors that you don't want to happen because you're trying to protect yourself. It is a defense mechanism that happens subconsciously. You don't even realize it until you see somebody crying or that you hurt someone's feelings because of what came out of your mouth, you know, and then you realize, damn, I've just become what I didn't want to be. So when you're healing on these, when you're on these healing journeys, it is important that you document while you're going so that you can go back and you can reflect at where you are mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Because when you're journaling and you're journaling properly, you should be adding, today I feel amazing. Today I feel like crap. Today, but this is what happened, and this is how this happened. This is what I did to fix this issue, and this is how I feel accomplished, because I was able to reflect back on how this made me feel when so and so did this to me. So this is the reason why I'm not going to be this type of person. Do you know how much growth it took for Hermiga to be able to say exactly what he just said? He's first of all, he's a Latino man. Okay? That comes with a lot of machoism right there. Okay? Y'all men, I'm not going to take it. All men in general, you guys have this thing. But culturally, okay, there's a level of, I'm not going to show this because of the fear of being or appearing weak. For this man to tell you all, 40 plus people that are watching from the FYP and that are going to listen to this in the future, that's deep, guys. And that should be applauded. For I mean, and it needs to be recognized that that is growth. And brother, for that, I applaud you, and I applaud you as well, Teddy, for being transparent and us having these real conversations. You know, you hear a lot of women saying, oh yeah, I was this, and this, because we're expected to be vulnerable. Men, man, this is the reason why I was so hell-bent on you having a safe place for you guys to talk. This is important. There's levels to this shit, guys. And we're just grazing it. We're just right here on the surface. We haven't even gotten deep yet. This is the surface level stuff right here. Okay? You're muted, baby.
Am I muted? Oh, okay. So Jack had a question. She said, for the people that don't know, could you define the word consciousness and vibration?
I have it right here. Look.
Oh, okay, cool. I kind of figured that you was writing that down.
But I want Mika to help me. We're gonna go back and forth on this, Mika. Watch this. Look.
Go for it.
Okay, so in plain words, consciousness is living in the now. Living right now at this moment, not the future, not the past, not in your ego, not in anxiety. Anxiety is the future, and ego and pride is the past. Living in the now, right now, outside of emotion, enjoying the fresh air, the nature, everything that's going on around you. Being able to enjoy the trees when you're driving, not on your phone when you're a passenger. You're actually looking at the earth. You know what I'm saying, and enjoying the earth, enjoying your toenails, enjoying everything. Now, vibration is part of frequency. Go ahead, talk about that, Mika.
Okay, so yeah, amplitude, frequency, vibration is a context of physics, to be honest with you guys. Everything is math. Okay, the math, you ever hear the math doesn't lie. The math tells everything. Everything comes down to a mathematical equation. We are created of a bunch of mathematical equations that just happen to make sense whenever they are put together, you know? So your consciousness is everything around you. Your vibration is the oscillations, repetitive movements of particulars, the systems around you that create an equilibrium. They're characterized by wavelengths, the phases. I mean, it's so deep. Like it's just, you can feel your vibrations, right? There's a vibration that everything on this planet gives off. Even things that you don't think have vibrations because we are frequencies and vibrations. You're talking about what I'm doing my dissertation on right now. So I can't get too far into depth without But what I'm saying is it
What's
can be
this?
measured, quantified by using different instruments, right? Consciousness cannot.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you.
So it's observable,
Yeah,
it's
it's kind of like
quantifiable.
energies, Deb. It's kind of like energies. Yeah.
You know why, consciousness cannot be measured? Because consciousness is the effect of the frequency and the vibration from which you function from. Oh my God. You understand what I'm saying? Your consciousness comes from that. And that belongs to you. And you own it. Everybody has a different level of consciousness. There is no such thing as an equal or an equivalent consciousness. Now we could have like minds. Like minds. This is what I'm saying. Like minds. Minds is just one part of consciousness. If anything, consciousness has nothing to do with the mind because you're not really thinking, you're doing. So again, in order to be an intellectual, your knowledge means nothing if you're not putting it into practice. So you are not conscious if you're not on autopilot.
Yeah. No, you're right about that one.
If you're not on autopilot, if these things are not happening for you already, if you don't have these things already running in motion, and you're still struggling to maintain things and you feel like you're fighting a losing battle, is because you're holding on to weight that doesn't belong to you. And you probably gave that power to somebody else. Let's go.
So
So
let me just put like the key differences, right? Domain. Consciousness pertains to the psychology and cognitive sciences, whereas vibrations goes into physics. If you want to say where they are, okay? Nature, consciousness is subjective and involves internal awareness, thoughts, and experiences, whereas vibrations are objective and they involve, and I said oscillations or movements, right? Measurable consciousness is challenging to measure directly because it literally relies on you to self-report and gives you have to give introspection on it. Okay, vibrations can only be measured precisely when using scientific instruments. Literally, you have to know what vibration you're on. Now,
right.
the interrelationship of between them, because there are a lot of theories and you can give a bunch of metaphors on how they are linked up,
Okay.
but I'd really
So
just say just go into quantum physics.
Jack said these textbook definitions are not reality. I was asking what it meant to you yourself without the textbook.
Oh, textbook.
Well, she wasn't. She said not the textbook. What it means for you.
I'm
This
not
wasn't
going off
textbook.
of a textbook. I'm telling you what I know.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
wasn't the question posed to define for those that didn't know? You have to go textbook for those that don't know. If you are on a higher level, Jack, then we could talk to you on a higher level, but you asked for a description towards the people that didn't know. That usually means clarification, ignorance, or coming across something for the first time. Go ahead, Mika.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm talking from my notes. That's me. If you know me, then you know that I don't use textbooks. I mean I have the knowledge, but I'm not reading from that. I'm telling you what I know based off of what I've learned and off of experience, and what I'm being downloaded from the Most High. So if the Most High has a textbook, I'd love for it to be given in my heart.
I mean, your
Why do I
vocabulary
need
is
to
just on
know?
point. That's all.
Because I'm staying on. I'll let you see what my notes are. It's just saying what you guys are asking questions from. I'm speaking from my heart.
I want to clarify the conversation so we're all on the same page.
Oh yeah.
We're not doubting that there are people that can relate. If you ask a question in a certain form, we have to address it in the way that it was meant to be clear. And
I'm a very scientific person, so
no, it makes sense to me. Tamika, listen, it
off
definitely
like
makes sense
that. I
because
mean,
look,
I'm not.
the,
I don't feel
the
like I need to. I'm not going
So
to say
just to make
justify who
sure,
I am.
we're on the
So
same page. Just to make sure that everybody's on the same
yeah,
page.
so we're all on the same page. I'm just letting you know, like I don't have.
I
no, we're
want
good.
no. Even hold on. Time out. Pause. Everybody stop for a second. Thank you. Just to give everybody clarification, when we're here, we're not only speaking from our experiences, we're speaking from the educational aspect, whether it be the education that we foster in our mental, the things that we dealt with, that we did make notes of, or the things that we've researched along the time for this topic, or for just for whatever how many years we've been educated on the matter at hand, right? We don't do no fluffy shit. Our vocabulary might be a lot more advanced than others, so you might hear words that you guys don't comprehend. Not to saying and you can't comprehend it, but you might hear words that might sound way more educational than most. It's just the way that we operate. That's just the way that we are. We're just very high vibrational energies in regards to all aspects of life.
At,
So
at the same time, we do appreciate the question.
of
We're
course,
not here. This is a safe place. We're not here to frown upon nobody. We're going to try to address the questions that are on, so because this is a full circuit, participation level. We say things. It's not just about what we say. We were about to let some people up so they can have their piece. So you're more than welcome to come up and share something like that. But before we go forward, real quick, we have another person in the comments that I said something and I need to clarify too because this is good for everybody.
next.
Um, this is what I mean by having knowledge. It's not means nothing if you don't use it. This is what I mean by that. My mother used to always tell me, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And I used to say, Mom, wow, I have all this knowledge and I don't feel any powerful than anybody else. Why? Because I'm not putting it into practice. I'm not putting it into play. I'm not utilizing it. I'm not sharing it. You know the difference between someone that's a show off and someone that shares? The show off shows you all the trophies that they got. The ones that share will teach you how to get there. You understand? They share the bag. The show off is the one that just talks about their accolades. And I'm a psychiatric this, and I got a master's in this, and I wrote this. And I never talk about those things. You know why? Because my confidence through my knowledge that I utilize gives me this attitude to be here and have this conversation with everybody on whatever level you want to have it on. So knowledge is not power alone. Let me say it that way. Having knowledge is not power alone. You have to be able to distribute it, use it, facilitate it, put it into play, share it, do something with it, and create a difference and put it into the high value. Otherwise, you become a hoarder of information, and then sooner or later, you're going to have what's called information overload, and then it's going to come out like diarrhea. How's that?
Yeah.
Hold on, sorry. Give me a second.
Does that help a little bit, Mika?
Helps out
Sorry,
a
I was.
lot because she said, look her in her eyes and tell her. I'm like,
I'm just saying, look, knowledge, I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with knowledge, but knowledge alone is nothing without putting it into practice. I know a lot of intelligent people that all they can have is a conversation. They can't do anything else except have a conversation for those that are interested. Because if you're in a place where nobody's interested in what you have to say, you have nothing. You have nothing. Who you gonna talk to, yourself?
true.
Go ahead, Cece, if you want to say something.
I'm just coming up with a PSA. I've been noticing with a lot of the chat, these hosts are coming from an educated perspective. They're coming from an experienced perspective. This chat is to input where you feel like this applies to you or what you can contribute to the conversation. What will not be respected is treating these hosts as if they are your puppet and they are to answer things the way that you expect them to be answered. If you ask a question respectfully, let them answer it the way they've been educated to and the experiences that they have gone through in order to answer those questions. Because what will not be tolerated is the disrespect or the need to feel control or the puppetry that you feel like you have over these hosts. I understand that everybody is here because they were invited by someone, but just as quickly as you were invited, you will be let out respectfully. Thank
Thank you.
you.
In other words, we do expect people to talk. We do expect people to share their thoughts, but it's has to be something that keeps the conversation circulating and it doesn't fixate on something that's in particular because there's so much to cover. Does that make sense, fellas?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not gonna go into the rabbit hole.
Hmm.
Me
Get back on
personally,
the topic.
everybody has their own perspectives and feelings on it. I don't feel like it was being disrespectful. I feel like there was just obviously it's not easy to read somebody's emotions through text.
Hmm.
So you can't really say that somebody's feeling some type of way the way that the way that it was reciprocated. Obviously, everybody feels some type of way about it. It's different. But before we start letting people up, um, no, the energy didn't shift. We're still right in the same path. Right?
No, we've been doing this for a long time.
So we're used to this. We're used to it. This is nothing
I
new.
was
We've
just
been doing
like,
this for the
I'm like,
last 3
oh, they
years.
want me to look you into the eyes. I'm like,
Yeah.
No. You see, the thing is that we're always we've had already enough lives to tell people read the room a little bit, get familiar. You know what I'm saying before you become directional. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
sometimes
welcome in.
things can come off condescending if we don't know where it's coming from. I'm not one to assume too much, but when I do, it's an educated assumption. What is an assumption? Assumption is coming to a conclusion without the facts. I mean,
Right.
I don't know if we need a textbook for that one.
No, we don't. Um,
Okay, thank you.
before we
I
start
just,
letting people
but
up,
let me just because I don't think Jack knows exactly.
She's in a cool place. She don't know the cool.
no,
She don't know the
Jack's cool.
coolness. We're
Yeah,
Jack's
So
cool. I'm
cool.
just
I want.
letting her know that if I come across as this, is because my mindset right now is I'm writing and researching
Yeah.
everything we're talking about. So my words are going to come across at a higher level. I'm gonna put it that way because I'm writing on a doctoral level right now, and I can't switch that from right there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is. It's all
We're
love. I
students.
don't
Tell them, tell
know.
them, tell them, tell them we're students of the game. We're students
Yeah,
of the
we're
game.
students of this. So like I'm writing right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going through my notes and I'm telling you, oh yeah, consciousness is a state of being. You know what I mean? It comes from here. Yes, vibrations. Vibrations are purely physics. Okay, that is mathematical. All right, it can all be intertwined, and when you intertwine all of that, my gosh.
It's been a while
But
since Jack's been here, but Jack's family, guys. Just to give you
listen,
guys.
no, it's so. I
Yeah.
just didn't want anybody else to take it to a place where it didn't need to go.
Yeah.
That's
It
all it
doesn't
was.
need to go any further
Okay.
than where it is. Jack is family. I know Jack personally, so I know when she asks a question, she asks it in a very deep manner. And she is a high vibrational person on a everyday level. You
Right.
guys know her. She's with bundles and she comes
Yeah.
from that side of TikTok. So she's been here before. So
That's
she's
all good.
definitely there's been people that
Hey,
came in here that have been way more disrespectful and the way that they ask questions has been through the roof. So you're good.
yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Well, but look. With that being said, that's great. Let's go back and make that mathematical computation. So,
But
eh,
before we do
okay,
that,
okay.
I want to do a quick commercial break.
Uh-huh.
Because we are supposed to start getting people up here so
Does
they can
that come with
start.
free lunch? Does that come with free lunch for the
I mean,
host?
if you guys want free lunch, I can make you guys some
I need lunch.
sandwiches.
I don't want your
I'm,
sandwich. No, I need something from
let,
you.
let me tell you, all this brain thinking and all this emotional stuff, this makes me hungry. I don't know about y'all.
It makes me hungry too, so I want everybody to
Okay.
take a break, right?
Go get a
The
sandwich.
people that don't want to take a break, tap the screen,
Tap the
stay
screen.
You know
alive,
what? I'm gonna go get a snack. That's what I'm gonna
get your
do.
water, get your coffee. You know what I'm saying? Take a break from looking at the screen, all that. If you're not looking at the screen, you're good.
I
Yeah,
You
haven't
go,
been
are
looking at the screen. I think I've
go.
been doing really good
no.
with not getting distracted today.
Right. So just if you guys haven't hit my link tree, you have access to the Discord link. You have access to my Instagram. Man, damn it, Juanita. What's going on in
Yeah,
my?
can you?
I got you. It's like I hear a rustling in the background. I was like, what's going on? Yo, but if you guys haven't hit the link tree, make sure you guys join the Discord so you guys can get the resources and the information that we always give you guys. Make sure you guys if you're not already following me on here, make sure you guys follow me on here, on IG, Facebook, the Book of Faces, whatever you want to call it. Make sure you guys are checking out our content, all three of us. Make sure you guys are hitting the link, Hormiga's link tree, and grabbing his book, Living Above the Norm. Make sure you guys are hitting my link tree and grabbing my book, Mind Your Mental. If you haven't checked Elysium's website out, make sure you guys go check her website out. Jack of all trades. Just give you guys a heads up. So you might catch a multiple of things that you can get yourself involved in within that website. So amazing website. It definitely aesthetically looks amazing. Just to give you guys a heads up. Definitely a lot of resources in the Discord. I want to give a shout out to a few people that are in the Discord real quick. Shout out to Sun, who's in the chat. Sun has been working heavily on herself and doing amazing, asking questions, guidance, everything within the Discord through private messages, obviously, because so we're still trying to get people accustomed to doing the general chat thing. But she's been amazing working on asking the right questions, kind of opening up a little bit on what they're dealing with and giving me just an idea of what I can kind of give guidance on. You know what I'm saying? Without diving too deep on a professional standpoint, where if that gets to that point, I always advise to speak to a professional. But the things that I can help with, I've helped with, and I see a shift and a change. It's been amazing. Natalie, she's another one that's a part of the Discord. Same thing, messages me privately, asking questions on the things that they're working on, me giving as much guidance as possible to help them through the process that they're going with. And just for everybody else that's within the chat, Frosty, a couple of people in the family are in the Discord, Mud, Diamond, they're all a part of that Discord as well. So the people that come in the Discord and ask questions and that were able to join the community chat, that was dope, right? We all came together. Boudreaux was a part of that as well, speaking about her history with the domestic and the narcissism, and she spoke about that and kind of gave everybody aspects during the Discord call. That was actually really fire. I enjoyed every aspect of that call. I did. I thought it was amazing. Thank you for Mama G and Babe for there to moderate the call while we were on the call. That was fire. I really appreciate my moderators that are in here and in the Discord, because they're aligned with what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not just for fun. This is not just for play. We're really here trying to change people's lives and perspectives.
Mermaid said before we let people up, can we go over the rules?
Yes, absolutely. We have two people in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
we have
so
some people coming in.
few rules. If this is your first time coming here, please say something in the chat so that way we can acknowledge you before we let you up. Because my moderators, I don't give warnings. My moderators will just get you out of here immediately. So if you are going to come up here, please be careful with the words that you use. Do not use too much vulgarity. Be very careful of the words that you choose coming up here. Like, if you're going to use the user word or uli, just things like that. Try to abbreviate the word a little bit. When you come up here, do not expect anything fluffy. We do not do fluffy shit. Like, there's no fluffy shit. There's no greasy shit. We don't do any fluffy shit. We're very transparent and very honest when you guys come up here. Just to give you guys a heads up, you know what I'm saying? We really don't do much of that. So if you're gonna come up here, ask questions that's pertaining to yourself, because this is a journey. This live is pertaining to self-healing, to the process of you, not the process of other individuals. So if you're gonna come up here, just be mindful. The questions that you ask should be pertaining to your self journey and your self healing, not to attack anybody that's currently in your life or that's done you wrong. Just to be mindful of that.
And if you're talking about something that be very don't use names. I'm gonna put it that way. Don't use names. Don't try to call anybody out. Don't try to embarrass anybody. This is not that platform to try to do whatever. And please stay on topic.
Yeah, and if you come up and you've been here, please don't ask what the topic is. Because
Can you hear me?
now we can.
Listen, do me a favor. There's a time and place for everything. Don't come up here just to chit chat. Don't come up here with something that is irrelevant. Let me just give it to them straight. Don't come up with something that's irrelevant. Don't try to steer the conversation. Don't change the goalpost because you have something personal that you want to take care of. Keep the conversation flowing because this is the type of things that we need to do. Let's keep a pleasant atmosphere where we can coexist, which is the most important part of relationships, coexisting, right? Let's go.
All right, so we got what we having. We had two people. So if you guys are ready to come up, definitely send a request. The moderators will let you guys up.
I guess the rules scared them away.
Yeah,
Come on up, man. Come back, man. Don't be afraid. Come on. Let's
don't
go.
be
Let's have a
afraid.
conversation.
The
Come
audio
on.
is stripped. Just to guys to give you a heads up, because this is new. We are stripping the audio from the live and posting it on YouTube. So if you guys are not following my YouTube, make sure you go follow the YouTube at Monumental Live, or just type in Monumental on YouTube. You'll see the little gold audio, the gold logo of Monumental as the thumbnail or the profile picture, and make sure you guys follow that page if you guys want to get the audio of the live. If you missed the beginning, obviously. But yes, follow the YouTube page because we don't know how long this app's gonna be here for. So I'm trying to give you guys as much nuggets in different platforms as possible. I do post little snippets of the lives on Instagram. I do post it on Facebook, on Reels, and everything. So I'm kind of like all over the place, giving you guys little. I even actually post the lives on Facebook because Facebook allows me to post full 3-4 hour lives. So if you guys are on Facebook and you guys are usually scrolling through, you might see a couple of my videos on Facebook Live, like on Facebook videos. So make sure you guys are following me everywhere. All the links should be in my link tree, if anything. So thank you, Mermaid. I appreciate that.
I ate all my pretzels.
Oh, let's go. Mermaid says she got the book. Let's go. I love to see it. Love to see it. So go ahead, guys. Come up with requests. If not, we can continue with the conversation if you guys don't have any questions.
Listening to the conversation today, I realized that I have many behaviors from my childhood I felt. Absolutely.
Man,
Absolutely.
spoken truth. Welcome in, my brother.
Let's
Let's
read some let's
let's
read some comments. Let's read some comments. Let me see. I got the
do it.
book.
I'm gonna scroll. So
Yeah,
shout out
go
to Bernie
go
for picking
yeah.
up the book.
Go all the way up and see if you see something on Ninja.
Okay, positive. Welcome in. Give me
Hey,
one
how's
moment.
it
Can you
going?
just mute up for
Hey, welcome in. Let's
once?
go.
My question is going to be for Miko. From a
Right
behavior
on.
person to a behavior person, I just have a question. Would you
What's going on,
say
my brother?
this, and it's a positive question. So, in the vibration part of things, when you're teaching ABA and things like that and going through that side of things, one thing we also teach our clients, and I also have clients that are from 2 to 18, is that you have to think about your choices and decisions. And I guess for Mika, this could go for you too, because it comes into consciousness is that you would be effective to about 20 other people, at least minimum, to every choice and decision that you make, based even on your behaviors. Because one instance I used with a coworker the other day was like if we call out the children miss out. Hold on, let me put my face on. The children miss out, the coworkers miss out, because they don't have that person that's there to help. They don't have the therapist there to help, and stuff. Don't mind my face. This is part of work. I got kicked in the face. Unfortunately, it was behavior. Again, choices. Um, However, things of it are is that you affect 20 other people around you. So, like, let's just say you have a behavior in your home. Let's say for instance, I'm gonna make this personal. I have a freak out. I get upset because my face looks the way it does right now. And I can't express that, this, that, the other. I affect my wife. I affect my kids. I affect my grandkids. I affect everybody around me. Because now at that point, my behavior is going to either make or break their day.
Okay. You're muted.
I can't hear you, Mika.
I say I agree with you completely because our vibration. Have you ever? I'm gonna put it like this. Have you ever walked into the room and felt that something was off, right?
Hmm.
also walked into the room and realized everybody was at a very high frequency and you were low vibing, and then all of a sudden you saw everything plummet. That's exactly what's happening. Yeah, our vibrations affect based off of our behaviors. But if we sit back before we interact with other people, like I can see, I've been in therapeutic holds with people. I've had those black eyes. I know what you're talking about, with the kids.
I can say
Chairs
I got him to
thrown.
sit down and chill though. I may
Yeah,
have this,
chairs.
but we
I
got
mean,
this.
having a
Yep.
run, chairs being thrown, tables thrown, all types of stuff. But when you are building that person up and you go through those things, and people don't understand that there are tactics in which we use in residential facilities are called therapeutic holds to get the person to de-escalate because they're either going to be at harm for themselves or for
Thankfully, this wasn't a hold.
everyone. Yeah.
Thankfully, it wasn't a hold.
Thankfully. Yeah. So, but I do agree with you that that our vibration is felt, is projected out. I have. It's not even just for that. I mean, it's for people that you're also linked up with, right? I can be having a very bad day, and I will tell you that one person I work very closely with, Laura, right? She's the only person I've ever allowed to have access to my energy in this way that she does. She does all of my energy clearing, and she helps me with my my activations and stuff like that spiritually. And she also is helping me with triggers as well, right? So we work hand in hand together. There have been moments in which I've had something happen in the middle of the night, and I wake up and my heart's going like this, and I'm completely terrified. And I may not even say anything to her. I may not text her or anything. And we'll talk in the morning. She'll be like, did something happen last night? I'm like, yeah, around midnight. She's like, yeah, I woke up. Were you afraid of something? And I say, yeah. And I'll tell her that vibration, when you are like right now, we're exchanging energy right now. Like the four of us, our energies are being, and then everybody
And I totally feel it.
they're picking up on that, So even when we were responding to the comments in the chat, had nothing really to do specifically with Jack. Jack was just the last one that was seen. There were a lot of other comments being made that precipitated Sweet Tea coming up. But the fact that it felt like someone was personally trying to attack what we were saying,
And I have something I want to say in regards to
everybody
that
got
part.
like
It's not
this.
even nothing negative.
Yeah.
It's a lot on perspective. If people
Yeah.
thought about the way that they're looking at perspective and perceiving things, if you saw Hormiga for Hormiga and not a title of a therapist or this or that, and you see Mika and you see Teddy as as Teddy and Mika as Mika, they have a name. They are people. Yes, they are going to come up here with their education and they're going to help you and they're going to guide you. And that's all they can do is guide you. Take what works for you, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. I think we all were taught that when we were young. Like if the shoe fits, wear it. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. If you need
Yeah.
clarification, ask for that clarification. But communication is key, and how you choose to communicate and what word choices you choose matters. People don't realize that. They're like, oh, well, I was communicating. But sometimes how we come across, even in a text message form, because we are the day and age of text, you have to be word selective. You have to start to educate yourself in some of those things and definitions. And if you don't know what it is, don't use it.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback on what everybody said about this, if you ask 20 people what's the most important thing in a relationship, you're going to get different answers. You're going to hear communication a lot. You're going to hear loyalty, honesty. You're going to hear a lot of different things. But none of that means anything without balance. All right? Let me explain what that means. This energy, right, is about connection. And that's where we lose the point in relationships, is that we lose the connection and what that connection is and what it's supposed to be. The mathematics is the connection to consciousness. So when you understand the vibration and you understand the energy, right? Like I'll give you an example. This is going to sound really weird, but let me finish. How do you get to an insect place? You put something where the insect could take it to the wherever they all are hanging out at,
Right.
right? So that one insect, the ant, will grab the poison and take the poison with him to this place and then put the poison, and then that
And then
poison is
communicate
taken
to
it.
the other ants where he
So
found it.
so the same way that could be poison, that could be something beautiful. So yes, We teach our kids something, they go outside, they interact with this one, and that shit just carries and carries and carries and carries. So that's almost like talking about the 6 degrees of separation, right? We are all related somehow through people don't understand what that really means. There's a mathematics to that. That's a connection, right? That is not taking responsibility, not being accountable for what's done and how far our stuff spreads out in that type of connection. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Mhm.
So it's a
I
connecting.
promise you guys, I understand the research.
Oh, there
I'm
you
a
go.
jailbreak.
No,
That's
no,
all my mental health
you know what's
shit.
funny? I never doubted it. Just the way that you came across, the way that you started. Because remember, intention, it's the way you start, right? Like people always perceive judging a book by its cover or what you lead with, right? So that's the first thing we look at, and then how you carry that lead, right? To make sure that that lead is not going in a different direction, that you stood where you needed to be. You understand what I'm saying? That's a good
Yeah,
connection.
Listen.
You did that. You allowed it to stay where it was supposed to be. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
She
No.
created the narrative. I'll just put it like that. She set up the tone. You set the tone for the conversation. You
Hmm.
came in, you told us where you were coming from, and boom, 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 boom. This is going out to Mika, maybe Hormiga as well. And that to me, I respect the heck out of that, and I appreciate you coming in because words do get lost in translation. I do not like text at all without proper punctuation, pauses. You can put stuff in all caps. I use all caps because my phone tends to do autocorrect and change all of my sentence into something that I didn't even say, unless it's
I've
in
had
all
that
caps.
happen many times.
Yeah, and then you think I'm yelling at you. In all actuality, I'm saying, hey, I'm hungry.
I got big fingers, so I gotta always check. I gotta check what it says because sometimes it says like I'm saying something really left and I'm really not. You understand? So I understand that completely.
Yeah. So that was I agree with you completely. I agree.
I appreciate what you guys do, and I appreciate you guys coming up here. I will let you guys have your boxes back.
Thanks for joining us.
For coming up.
No, always.
Should someone all cap me, I'd be like, why are you yelling? Why are you being so loud?
Like, I just want you to understand what I'm saying.
That happened to me and Mika not too long ago. She had texted me and said something, and it hit through me completely. I was like,
Look, my daughter sent me a message one time, and she put all the words in different colors. And I said, "Why'd you do that?" She says, "Because they all mean a different emotion." I said, "You've been
But
listening to
that's
your
deep.
father. You've been listening to your father a little bit too much." That sound
That's
like.
that's deep though. No, what was funny was Teddy sent me a survey. I answered the questions to the survey, right? I thought he wanted me to check the survey out. I didn't know he wanted me just to read the words. So I answered, and I'm like, oh, yes, last one, no. And he's like, well, I'm checking on, he's like, I'll fix the wording on it. I'm like, no, the wording is fine. I'm like, my answers are all yes, and the last one is no.
yeah, because she's
And I
answering.
was
So,
totally confused.
no, it's the reason why it was confusing is because she was answering the survey outside of the survey. Because I was like, it was just like she's just giving me the answers in the text message with no question behind it. So all I see is yes, no, maybe, and I'm like, yes, no to the questions that I put in there, or are you answering the survey? Like, what
I
are
was
we
answering
doing?
the survey. So we had a whole thing, and then I just was like, hold up. Leave the questions the way that they are. Okay. These are my answers. He's like, oh, because I was totally confused. I was just like, see, this is the reason why we need to just be sending voice messages or whatever. But I digress. We're back on topic.
That's important. You see, people like to say that communication is the most important thing, but people never talk about how to communicate. There's a language that has to be spoken between two different people in order to connect and have communication, right? Me and Teddy speak a different way than me and Tamika. Not that far off because we're kind of all on the same page, but for the most part, this is where people disconnect.
Tito's
Like
welcome in.
like if you're not gonna have standards and boundaries and act the same way with everybody, then you're gonna have to be a whole bunch of different people. You understand what I'm saying? And that takes a lot of energy to keep transforming and shifting. You're gonna wake up in the morning and treat your kids one way. Then you're gonna go to work and treat your boss another way.
You got to echo, Frosty.
right? And then you're gonna then you gotta echo firstly, and then you're going to talk to the bus driver a certain way, the person from the store a different way, and then no, it's like how much energy do you think you have in order to be 10 different people throughout the day? You have to have standards and boundaries to be who you are. And for those that don't respect your standards and boundaries, you don't really have to spend time with them. You understand what I'm saying? That's something that you have to stand 10 toes down on. You know what I'm saying? It's being able to respect yourself enough so that people can respect you. Because if you don't respect yourself, what gives you who the hell do you think you are if you don't respect yourself to think that other people have to respect you? So that the respect that you actually need, you either are dependent on them to give you that respect, and you're demanding all this respect, but you don't respect yourself. That to me is wasted energy, and a whole bunch of other things. That's a lot of problems.
Agreed. Pastor, welcome in.
Hey,
Is the
Pastor.
echo gone?
Yeah. His
I
homie's
don't
over
have
here
a
chomping on what
question.
he's chomping on over here.
I was about to say, mute him because he eating
Yeah,
some
you have
stuff.
an echo, Harmonic. You have this crunch going on there. I hear it.
Yeah, he's over there chopping away. Oh, he got pretzel sticks.
Um, I happen to be connected with the person. So this is where communication comes in. Like if somebody says one thing and it rubs you wrong, there's something that maybe you're not seeing, especially if you don't stick around and hear the whole conversation. And that's why we ask questions. We ask, what do you mean by not having, that it's useless if you have all this knowledge, you know? So some people think it's great to have a lot of knowledge. But when I look at it, it's like I remember the beginning of my healing journey when I knew a lot of tools. I knew how to use them. I knew what they were about. I could tell somebody how to do it. When I initially used it in my life, it was very vulnerable and painful, and it was very hard for me. So I know what having too much knowledge, if you're not applying it in your life, actually means nothing. I agree with that statement. But I think maybe some people think, well, it's good to have knowledge because you may need it someday. And that's true, but it just depends on like what we're talking about. For me, if I have a bunch of knowledge to know how I want to act and should act or, you know, my goals, but I never go for them, it's useless, right? So I appreciate that. I also appreciate your honesty. I don't want to cry, but, you know, through a lot of trauma, like you said, and being raised a certain way, that becomes part of you. And the parts that you really don't want to like, unfortunately are there, but we can work to change those behaviors, right? That's what this is about, is changing our behaviors, strengthening our muscles, you know, our pathways and all this. I mean, we can do that. I believe we can. I go through a lot of those things myself because when you see things, hear things, or doing things a lot of your life, that becomes part of you. But we don't have to take that as it becomes part of you, but it isn't part of you. Like it's not part of me. That is not me. That is not what I want. That is not who I am. That is not what I was created to be. So I'm choosing to deprogram all those, whatever it's about, right? It could be sexual, you know, things, and then maybe you desire those, okay? But that doesn't mean that issue. Doesn't mean that's part of you, but we happen to bring some of those with us, unfortunately.
Right.
All I wanted to say, and I really appreciate the vulnerability and honesty, because some of these deep conversations are not necessarily fun to have and people don't want to hear them, but it is part of a lot of people's reality. And so I just want to say I really appreciate that.
I just want to say that I'm proud of you, Frosty, and it takes a lot to get up and to admit where you are and keep it up. And anything you need, you already know how to reach out and where to come.
Thank
We
you
got
very
you.
much. I appreciate it.
And thank you for letting me elaborate, right? Very classily, and understanding that there's a difference between wanting to be heard, right? Wanting to be heard and sharing information that can help you look at things from a different perspective altogether. And again, that's the difference between showing off and sharing. The show off is going to show you the trophy and not show you how to get there. The person that shares is going to give you information that can help you in the path to achieve those same results. Does that make sense?
Yes, and for me, it's also like, you know, like in the first few times I was here, if I can be honest, and this is not being disrespectful, it was hard to listen to. You're very bold. You're very out forward. It could seem arrogant if you're not around you long enough to get to know what you're about. But in this journey, being uncomfortable are the places that you learn things, for me anyway.
Right.
So if that's a trigger for me in the beginning, well, let me see why. Let me feel it. Is it really a trigger? Is that my instant emotion? Because I've lived on instantaneous emotions and thoughts. I don't want to live on those anymore. Those have controlled my life, right? And so if I'm able to sit with it, and if you stay long enough, there's conversation about it. And it's like, oh, well, they didn't actually mean this that my first thought said, right? So as we're growing on our adventure, our journey, whatever you call it, we learn to have conversations and start to listen and understand a little more, if that makes sense.
It does. Really quickly, look, it does make sense. You see, the whole thing about it is this. I never said this, but I'm gonna say this. I went to school for something that a lot of people don't go to school for, right? Among other things. I went to school for leadership. So my strongest power is leadership.
Welcome
And
back.
and the only way to lead is to know what you're getting into before you get into it. I know I'm gonna have people that oppose me. I know that when I go into a conversation that there is a chance that someone may be offended. Me knowing that in advance will create an even safer space for you when you recognize that that's not what I'm doing. It actually allows you to show an emotion towards me, like, oh, he thinks he's the smartest man in the world. I'm like, no, but I am the smartest man that I could be at the moment, and in a few minutes I'll be even smarter.
That's
Yeah.
You heard what I just said? In a few
Yeah.
minutes, I will be even smarter.
Because you're learning, constantly learning.
We're learning from each other, Frosty, and that's
Yeah.
what I do. Sometimes, people say these little cliche things and they think they're like Gandhi or Moses, like I said, or like a prophet. Like, oh, you gotta love yourself first before you love everybody else, and that's it. That's not just it. That's the knowledge, right? Applying it and putting it into a process and believing in the process and knowing the difference between hope, faith, and getting your fingernails dirty. That's a whole other ballgame. So thank you, Frosty. I
I
appreciate
think
you.
the problem, and not to shade a lot of other platforms, right? We're just gonna keep it transparent. Is we give you what's needed for your process at that time. We do not overwhelm you with the information because the information can be very much overwhelming. You get what I'm saying? So, with what you are currently dealing with, or if it's something that you feel the need you have to apply, most likely we've already had that conversation. You get what I'm saying? And for new people that are coming in, because I know you were also fairly new, so I get where you're coming from. You're not the first person that said that, and you're not gonna be the last. You get what I'm saying? You're not gonna be the last because we don't sugarcoat things. We've never have. You know what I'm saying? So the way that we come across may come across a little arrogant, a little ignorant, right? But it's not that, right?
Total transparency, guys. I give a disclaimer before I invite anybody over here. I'm like, don't come over here if you're emotional. Don't come over here if you are sensitive. You know what I mean? And don't come over here if you wear your emotions on your sleeve and you're easily offended, because the way it's going to be, the information that's going to be given to you is going to be given to you in a manner in which you can either identify with or choose not to identify with. It's up to you how you receive it. So
Well,
I tell people to come in willing to learn, but learn in different ways.
and the original topic of this session is talking about behavioral habits, right? So one of the behavioral habits that we seem to ignore is stop leading with emotion. If you expect to have a logical conversation, if you lead with emotion, that is what you expect for your emotion to be treated.
Right.
Can I say my line?
Of
My
course.
question? When you come over here, expect to have a conscious conversation. And what we mean by that is listen for understanding, not to respond. Right? So take a beat, listen, because sometimes something like the way our minds go, sometimes we'll be like, let me reiterate on this one point right here, and then let's keep going. Because if we don't, we'll miss that one comment, right? That's a thing where we just want to make sure we highlighting something for future conversations. But it doesn't mean that we're not listening for understanding. Like the way that I communicate is different from Homika, from Frosty, and from Teddy. Right? We all communicate differently, but we all are on
Yeah, Damon,
the
come
same
on.
frequency that we understand each other because we're vibing at that same level, that same frequency right now, because we can understand we're having this conscious conversation. We're all open to the fact that everybody has, thank you, that everyone
Thank you,
has
Frosty.
their own opinion, their own, good morning, their own opinion, they have their own perception of how things happen, but we may be saying the same exact thing just in different ways.
Right.
How else are you going to appeal to the masses if you're only speaking or saying the message in one way? You can't.
Everybody. I've learned over the course of almost 4 years doing this, right? 6 years of the education that I've gathered myself, is everybody's teaching the way that they're taught is different. The way that people retain information is different. That's why when we do these lives, we don't just do it in the aspect of just one way of teaching. We do it in multiple aspects because of our knowledge, knowing that people, they learn differently. You get what I'm saying? That's just what it is. So we never stay stagnant in the way that we teach you guys. You know what I'm saying? So we always try to bring different methods and different understandings to how we can teach you guys, right? Like I said, we don't do the fluffy shit, but we will give you different ways of learning. Like, you get what I'm saying? We'll definitely give ways of learning. The reason why the fluffiness is not applied to this platform and why it works so well is because the information is retained if there's no fluffiness, right? And the reason why we do the breaks is because it is a lot of information. So we take that break so you guys can just, get yourselves together, just take a break, take a breather, deep breaths, 1, 2, 3, breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, do that real quick so that way you guys can get back to it. So, but it's not easy. It's not easy. I know it's a lot. It's 3 hours of nonstop information that's coming in. Trust me, I get information Monday through Friday. On top of the research that I do every day, like I'm going through a training at my job right now, so that way I can properly help people with the job that I'm doing. And it's a 6-week, like, rigorous training. It's nonstop information. So trust me, I get it. It's not easy to retain all that information, but it's needed. It's needed. If you're gonna go through the process of working on yourself and being the better version of yourself and seeing that version of yourself that you don't recognize, you need that information. That information is needed. In regards to applying it, that's a different ballgame. That's a one-on-one type of situation where you gotta sit with somebody that's knowledgeable that can coach you into that process. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't coach multiple people at a time unless you guys are on the same frequency. But if you guys are not on the same frequency, then that's not an easy task to do. But
Before you go on, Damon, how you gonna call me out like that?
Because I was trying to give you your crown as the queen on the panel, and you weren't trying to accept it. That's why. No, I'm
Thank
just
you,
joking
sir.
with you. I
Thank
ain't mean
you,
nothing
sir.
by that, sweetheart. I
y'all
promise.
ain't see the
I
picture in the
promise you
background.
that.
She's directly in the middle, y'all. I gave her the queen status. Like,
I like
For a
that
reason.
picture.
Hey, looking like a 2024 Storm and X-Men. You better not play with her.
Listen,
I love that picture.
and
Listen.
listen. Why
But
my best friend said,
I
why
ain't
does
gonna,
that look like a real?
congratulations, mermaid.
It, look-
Congratulations.
it looked like a movie, right?
Yeah,
A
they
movie
say
is
that
about
looks
to
like you
happen.
look like a real, like real actors and actresses. What movie is that? I said this is our
You're not in the box, Frosty.
So the
That's
name of
exit out the app
the
altogether, Frosty, and come back.
the movie is called The Anti-Fluffy Team.
Team No
What's
Fluffy
wrong with
shit.
that movie? It's so
Team
fluffy.
Team No Fluff.
Team No Fluff.
but
No
I
soft,
ain't mean
no,
to call
no,
you out with that.
no
Like
shiny lemon.
I was just joking with you on that.
I love it.
But
Welcome in, my brother.
if I may, just I ain't gonna take up too much. I ain't gonna take up too much of y'all time. But y'all speaking about behaviors, like breaking behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I want to comment on that real fast, and I'm gonna hit a few different points. But like I said, I'm not gonna take up y'all time. When y'all ready for me to drop out or shut up, just say it because it's your panel. First and foremost, um, I want to commend you because it's no secret that I'm talking UT. Um, it's no secret that black men, like when one of us doing something and the other one of us doing something, we instantly start comparing to see who's better.
It's true.
It's an instant thing. And once we see that two of us are doing the same thing, now it becomes a rivalry. It's never something where we say, okay, how can I lift this man? How can I make sure that he gets to the next level? That way, if I start falling down, I can look at him and say, hey, how can I get up there? And every time you've come on my platform, you have been nothing but respectful. So that's why I speak to you, man to man, and say, man, I take my hat off to you. I salute you because how you carry yourself, even on your post day to day, how you carry yourself, how you handle yourself, and even how you treat the people who speak to you, it means a lot and it shows a lot about your character. So, first and foremost, I'm giving you your crown because you deserve that.
Thank you so much.
And even when no thank yous are needed unless it's coming from me. Thank you so much. So that's first and foremost. And then even when you was on my panel and you talked to my homegirl Sue, who was going through what she was going through, I'm always reminded of what you did and what you do. So that's why I'm gonna give you your crown. And thank you for that.
Of course.
I'm also gonna give Hormiga his crown for being the extension cord to put two plugs together. Because if it weren't for Hormiga, even in his old age, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't never came across this page. But that happened for a reason. So I'm thankful for him too on that. And then Mika, I don't know you, but the way how Mika talks about you lets me know a lot about you, if that makes sense. And I don't come up here on no fluffy shit. Like I ain't no fluffer. We know what a fluffer is in the movie industry. I'm not no fluffer. I'll say
Yeah.
what it is. So
Thank you.
with that being said and done, I say all that to circle back to breaking behavior habits. I'm from St. Louis, North Side. We didn't like each other, even if we stayed on the same block. We didn't. So me breaking the habit on coming up here to tell you how proud of you I am, whether it means something to you or not, that's all up to you. That's if you want to accept it. But at the same time, that's the habit I'm breaking. Also, when this live first started, I don't know what happened, but I had a bad panic attack. Not because of the live, just something in my own brain. I had a horrible panic attack. Cannot tell you why. Had a bad panic attack. That's why you see me jump in and out of the live.
Mm-hmm.
Start talking to guys, start talking to myself, start checking myself. Don't know what happened with that. But I say that to say, normally I would shut down, turn my phone off, and just block the world out. But I broke myself from that because a person can only think at the level in which they've been taught. So I was taught to not run away from every single thing that bothers me. Sometimes it's okay to embrace it, face it, and then replace it. So that's where I'm at with that. My time is up. I put myself on the time. I know y'all didn't, but I just want to commend y'all for that. Salute y'all for what y'all doing. Y'all powerhouse. And yeah, I salute you. I salute you.
Before you go, how are you feeling? 'Cause I know you said you had that panic attack. So how are you feeling?
It's there. But even speaking on it got me to the point where I'm like, okay, I recognize it's there. So what am I gonna do to erase it from being there?
Can I work with something
So
with you real
I'm
quick? Can I just do a
absolutely.
little exercise with you real quick? Just close your eyes.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to breathe in through your nose, hold it, and release. You can breathe in through your nose. Take a really deep breath in, count to 4. Let your brain know that you're safe. You're going to hold it. And you're going to release. Say, you got this.
I got this.
I got this. Breathe in again. Hold it. Release. Let all that stress just leave out. And then after this, journal about what it was, because something triggered you. Something someone, one of us said triggered that. And just journal, just think about it. And then don't let it control you. And when you start feeling that pit thing going on in the pit of your stomach, just take that deep breath in again, close your eyes, and really feel it. Bring a lot of oxygen to all of your red blood cells. And then release. Okay? Let me know how you feel later. I just friended you, so if
I
you
got
need
you.
to talk, you can call me.
I just sent you one right back.
Okay?
I appreciate y'all.
You got
I
this.
appreciate y'all. And that's the thing. Nobody ever asks a strong person is they strong. So us having to get on here and be strong all the time and not show defeat. I love showing them vulnerable. But I appreciate you for that more than you know. But like I said, I ain't go. I'm gonna get my breathing together, talk to God, and thank him for y'all and salute y'all again.
Yeah.
So thank you for letting me be a part of y'all panel today.
If you need to reach out, just you know where to reach me. I'll extend you access to the Discord. I know we talked about it when I was on your panel, so I'll send it to you when I get out of here.
Listen,
That's a bet. That's a
listen,
bet.
don't think that you're leaving without me addressing the old comment that you said, because not that what Tamika did was give you a chance to breathe before I come at your ass. You understand what I'm saying? That you don't understand how we function here. She's helping you because what's gonna come right now. No, I'm just kidding. um, I'm not gonna address the old age because old age is in your mind. That's a mindset. Unfortunately, I am 55 years old and I run circles around people that are 40 years old. So bring it if you want to, brother.
Hey, homie, you know, man, you always joke
The
like that.
punch
Like
me
we
after
gonna
he
end
did that. That's
everything on that
crazy
note.
behavior.
No, you see, because that's that habit. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm like, that man over here
See, it's
punching
a
him
habit.
like that. Like,
It's a habit for the nursing home to make sure he take his pills. So I'm proud of that. Like mental strength is a good
No, it's
thing. So I love it.
fortunately, not unfortunate. Fortunately, you're 55 years old. I'm gonna be 50 in December, so don't come for me too, Formiga.
it's all
I'm
good.
I'm not I'm not I'm not coming for anybody. What I will say is, if you had to pick somebody in this panel to save you while you're drowning, who you picking?
I'm picking on
Myself.
me. I'm not gonna lie to
I'm
y'all.
ju- I'm just saying, if you're caught in a rip current and you have the ability to go straight in the water, and one person can put his hand out to pull you out that water, who you picking?
Well, because the fact
If
that you
I
look
if
6, 7 feet tall, I'm picking
To be
you.
honest with you, I'm gonna pick
yeah.
myself because I'm a lifeguard, so I'm gonna pick myself.
I hear you. Just want to make sure who I'm going to Six Flags with. On that wave pool. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, don't go with me because I don't get on no rides. I'll eat a turkey leg with you, but I don't get on no rides.
Listen, that's how you make chicken soup. You have a
You gotta
chicken as a
break those
lifeguard,
seas,
and he
man.
turned the other way. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I've been skydiving, so I ain't standing up.
Man, you better than me.
I,
You
I'm
better
just
than me.
saying.
I roam
Yeah.
I roam the streets of St. Louis. That's enough for me.
Oh man.
Let's go with
There's
this.
there's there's only two things I know. No, there's three things I know about St. Louis. The St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, for at least as the baseball team. And then you have
Hmm.
the Ribs, and then you have Nelly. Right? That's it.
That's what he
That's it.
said. That's
That's
what
That's
it.
he
it.
You
said.
ain't got nothing else.
Ooh. The first thing that came up in my
That's
mind
it.
was, "Ooh, I'm going down, down, baby. Your street."
So you got
See,
Nelly,
that's that old.
Ribs, and the Cardinals that they're really irrelevant right now. Anyway,
See, y'all still stuck in 2004. Y'all still wearing apple bottom jeans. That's the problem with y'all. Homie
Who's hot
gonna have
now?
a
Let us
band-aid up on his
enlighten
eyelid
me,
on.
David. Who's hot right now?
It's hot as
Who's
hell
hot
in
in St.
here.
Louis?
Yeah.
Who's look, I'm gonna tell you something. It's this
He
guy.
is.
Look, all of us
He's
got
the hottest
smartphones.
thing in St. Louis right now.
Let's
Damien.
go.
Come on, man. You knew I was gonna say it. I'm the coolest thing since ice cream.
Listen,
Listen.
all I'm saying, Damien, is this. All I'm saying is this. We're gonna be doing some meet and greets. You're invited, but you gotta let me know who I gotta send the permission slip to.
Yeah. That part.
For me,
Do you have health
here's the thing.
insurance? You know what I'm saying? I need to ask these
Here's
questions. Do you have?
yes, I do. But Hormiga, here's the thing: we don't need to use postage stamps anymore. You can just send an email, so you don't have to put it on
Oh
the envelope
man.
and mail it out. You don't have to
Postage
go
stamps
to the
is
little blue
wild.
box and fill in that coin and put it in there.
Oh man.
That just reminds me. Your grandmother asking if she could take me to the, if I could take her to the post office so she could apply for unemployment. I'm like, what?
He could have said he could have said send it by pigeon.
Yeah, he could
Now,
have. He
see,
said
that's
postage
that's
stamp.
No, you dropped
see,
the
that's
old
the
one.
thing.
You could have said pigeon. Send it through the Pigeon Express or the Pony Express.
Everybody in the room don't know that. You got to know your room. See, but you just showed how old you are because you missed the pigeons.
He
You
could have
still got the
definitely
ribbons to
said
tie around
smoke
their foot.
signals too.
You
So
could have
he would
left
have been
that
like, you
alone.
better look for them smoke signals.
I used to I used to fly pigeons.
See,
Yeah.
I don't think I have a pigeon that will reach St. Louis though. You understand what I'm
Lord,
saying? I have to find another modality
I
to
send a raven.
the raven is one of my spirit animals.
This man over here.
And
no,
you are
Hormiga,
like,
you
that
know
is
when I
one of
say
my
that, it's
favorite
just messed
flavors.
up.
You got that
I'm
pineapple
gonna
juice.
let you know right now. Those headphones that you have, we can hear everything that goes in and out.
I hear
well,
your
well, well
You have
heartbeat.
the strongest back
thank
teeth
God I'm
I've
not
heard.
scratching my ass, right?
I can hear your heartbeat. I know exactly what your heart rate is right now. I can probably
Sure.
determine your blood pressure at this point in time.
I heard
Damn, my bad. I forgot about the chewing part. I start eating these pretzels, man. I get into it. I'm sorry.
heard the damn drink go down your throat.
This
Pause.
one go
You heard every bubble?
Everything, yo. Like it's
That
wild.
I,
combination was heavy.
there's no. There's no carbonation in this.
That's my favorite
Well,
flavor
that's
right
even
there.
worse.
What is that? What is that? The body armor?
Body armor, the
The body
pineapple.
armor zero sugar. No, this is
Yeah.
the lemon lime.
That's lemon
Oh, that one's
lime.
good. I like
This
the raspberry.
I
I like
like
the
the
blue
pineapple
raspberry.
one.
this is good.
The blue raspberry one tastes really good.
Y'all already know that Body Armor should be sponsoring us by now. So
Yeah. That and Damien's lame old jokes. You know what I'm saying?
I think he got us though. He
Hormiga,
definitely got you.
between
No, he's good at what he's
Hormiga,
doing. He's crafty. You know, he's
He
getting
said,
ready.
my question is
he
this:
said
Get old
the
too.
old folks don't need to know when to give you your medication. So
Take
Hormiga,
down until I can't no more.
as
Mark.
far
Thank you very
as
much.
far as the old jokes, I got one question. Between Wendy's fries and the ocean, how salty are you?
oh Lord. Damn.
I like pink Himalayan salt.
Okay.
So that might be a little bit out of
That
your area code if you ever decide to leave your area code.
Hormiga, I've been to Brazil and back a couple times.
Step out the zone. It ain't about the loo all the time. You know what I'm saying? You got to visit some places. Believe it or not, the sun shines everywhere. It's a myth.
Not
The world is
everywhere.
not flat. You should see it.
Cause you knew Christopher Columbus when he came over. So of
Oh
course you know
shit!
you were
Oh
watching him when he was
shit!
coming through.
Wow.
That's our love,
Me
brother.
and Christopher go way back.
Look at his face right now. All
Oh
right, are we
man.
wrapping it up?
You can't take ninjas nowhere. Wait.
You can't, but
Some
you can take
some
black people
people,
everywhere.
some people, some people
Nah,
got
but
some nerve. Listen,
no, we still got an
this a
hour
week
in. We
ago.
still got an hour in. Honestly, it's only what 10:57.
No,
No, it's 11:30.
It's 11:30. My time wrong?
Yeah, well, you gotta stop using them 99-cent store batteries.
That's
That's
why
what you
I
better
came
stop.
up here to
That's
get
what
a quick commercial break
Hey,
before we
hey,
leave.
sis, can you tell him to stop buying the dollar store batteries? You know, like,
Sir,
please.
the one that buys the dollar store batteries.
his MacBook has about like 10 years of youth on mine, so I'm not even going there. His MacBook is much more updated than mine. Mine is an ancient dinosaur, and I'm holding on to it for dear life.
Ruby
I
said I
just
got
came up
kicked
here
out.
because it was 11:30, and I want to give. Typically, Mama G does our quick commercial breaks, but before we wrap up, just want to touch on a few things. If you haven't gone to each of our host bios and visited their links, please go into official Mind Your Mental's links, his link tree. There's a link for his Mind Your Mental book. There is a link for merchandise. There is a link for the Discord. If you have an issue getting into the Discord, please message us so we can get you in there so you can absorb all of the resources that are offered. You also have the ability to chat with everyone that joins the Discord and visits the hosts that visited there to provide information. If you have not gone to Ormiga's link tree, if he has a link tree, or visit his bio, his book is available, because I know damn well Ormiga doesn't have a link tree, but I love him for it. If you have not visited his bio and purchased his book, Live Above the Norm, please do. If you have not visited Elysium's website, you can book appointments there. You can schedule coaching. Mika, am I correct?
Coaches, math, and crystal therapy.
Please visit all of their links. It's extremely important that you absolve all of the resources that are available, not just waiting for every Saturday for 3 hours to absorb the information, but if you want to absorb this information, and here's where I'm going to be punny, make it a habit. You want to make it a habit to be able to visit these resources and absolve all this information on a daily basis in order to make the most of this information. If you have not visited Damien's live, I believe it's on Friday nights. Am I correct, Damien? Thursdays?
It's tonight.
Tonight. So
Yeah,
if you
it
have
went
not
from it went from
visited Damien's
Tuesday.
live,
It went from Tuesday to Wednesday to now Saturday nights. Is that correct, Damien?
Yes, sir. Saturday nights. We want everybody to be able to get the most out of it. A lot of people are in school. This ain't about me, so I ain't gonna talk about it. But a lot of people in
well,
school
I stand
working and other
corrected,
stuff.
and
So
you are up
yeah.
here, and you have a powerful platform, so I am going to speak on your platform. If you have not visited Damien's platform, please make sure to. They give a lot of information that can also be absorbed in the form of positivity. Every single person that you see in this live is giving you information on positivity, moving your life in an effective way. Make sure that you're using all of your resources. That's the only way that you can move in a great direction in your life. I know that I've changed the vibe up from when I was last up here. I apologize. I get very overprotective of my family, but there was a lot of stuff in the chat that just led me in that direction, and sorry, not sorry. But please use all these resources.
And if you guys are not following Relationship Gumbo and Venus, make sure you guys go and follow those two coaches as well. Relationship Gumbo is a life coach and a self-healing coach, and Venus is a self-mastery coach. They do come in here on occasion. They'll pop in here. Either they'll come on the panel or they'll be in the chat. So if you guys are not following those two coaches as well, make sure you guys go follow those two coaches. And me and Hormiga, I don't know me and Hormiga will be co-hosting July 19th at 8 p.m. on Jero's platform. I think she's in the chat. Jero Talented 10th. If you guys are following her, make sure you guys are following her. Me and Hormiga will be co-hosting July 19th, next Friday, at 8 p.m. on her platform. So if you guys are not following her, make sure you guys follow her as well. We'll be over there with a whole bunch of Go Talented. Make sure you guys are following her. There will be a whole bunch of licensed therapists, psychologists, coaches, all of us collectively there just to celebrate Minority Mental Health Month. We'll be speaking on that over there. July 19th, 8 p.m. Make sure y'all tune in because it's gonna be epic. Just saying, it's gonna be epic. Last one we did was amazing. I have no quarrels at all. The live was amazing. I learned a lot from being in there, and it was dope. So make sure you guys follow Go. She's in the chat. She's over there communicating with Mermaid. So if you guys are not following her, definitely pick her up.
Got you.
Where are we? I know where we are. Even though we're at a half an hour, we only got like a few left, right? Let's dive into the relationship aspect of the habits because we have not dived into that. And I know we were trying to avoid it a little bit. I think y'all slick, maybe not. We're here. We're here. Homie, I see your face. Don't do that.
I would say
Don't do that.
Hey, I'm gonna drop down so y'all can. I'm gonna
segue
drop
to
down so y'all can
that.
have y'all panel back.
All right, we appreciate you, bro. If you want to come up, you stay
I
up. You can stay
appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Josh,
What's going on,
Joshua,
lab?
All right, hold up. If you want to do that, then let's go backwards. I think that the ultimate habit in a relationship is when it ends up being a trauma bond. We also talked about the highest level of a habit is an addiction, and people don't understand that an addiction started from a habit. It didn't just come out of nowhere. It had to start somewhere. It might have moved very fast, but it went through a lot of processes really fast. It's not like it skipped any processes. It started as a habit, right? It started as behavior, then it turned into a habit, then the habit turned into an addiction. That's what a trauma bond really is, an addiction. What do you think, Mika?
I I think I'm going to sit with this. I will definitely reflect on it for the next couple of days, and because I for some reason I have an issue with the words
All
trauma
right, sis.
bond.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for modding for me. I
Like,
appreciate you.
so I need to
Let us
sit
know when you're
with
home
it
safe.
for a moment and figure out why I really highlight I highly dislike the verbiage of trauma bonds. Addiction is definitely a habit that's formed over a period of time. It's also, it can be mental and physical, it can be emotional. Um, I know that there are different substances that are more mentally addictive than other substances in which your body becomes dependent upon them, and then you have to have other means to get off of them. That's just coming from being in Al Anon, which is a group that helps people who have parents or loved ones who are addicts. Um, so I'm very transparent. My mother was a functional drug addict and alcoholic my entire life. So I've seen different forms of addiction. I mean, alcohol, Exual, and you know what I'm saying by that. Um, the DURGs, the different forms of them till you get to the H. H then becomes a physical dependence. Your body becomes physically dependent upon that. And usually that used to be the worst one out there. Now they've got the F one, that is really unaliving people left and right. So when it comes to that, being addicted to attention, you know what I mean? Like, that's where you get the narcissism coming in. They need that attention, or they want that attention, and sometimes people get addicted to negative attention. That's when they do bad things to get attention from people. So it goes so deep for me. But when it comes to like trauma bond, sometimes I just see people who go through some shit. They form a heavily relied upon relationship, and some of those relationships are actually positive. So when I hear that those two words, sometimes I think I immediately, and that's just based off my perception, and I'm working through it as we're talking right now, right? because I know groups of friends that have been through some stuff, and they have the most deepest sisterly positive bond that I have seen, that could happen between Black women. And I'm going to put it that way because Black women normally tear each other down. And y'all can come for me if you want to, but y'all know I'm not lying. We do. Very rarely do we pour into each other. But to see a group of Black American women holding each other up, and it's because they were each going through something at the same time, and they poured into each other, and it was a positive thing. You know what I mean? And it wasn't a negative thing. So I can't even say they went through traumatic experiences that brought them to what they have now. And they're not codependent upon each other, but they do love each other enough where it's a healthy relationship. Does that make sense?
Let me explain why I did that to you, Mika, because I know how you feel about it first and foremost. Second, I wanted to distinguish something between people. And this is just my way of looking at things, is my perspective. The difference between a habit and an addiction is that, and a habit, when it comes to relationships, you won't live without this person. But if you're in the addiction, you can't live without this
Right.
person. If it becomes a physical addiction, and by no means, the whole point of this habitual conversation is to let y'all know is that I don't care how well you get, you will never be able to deal with stress if the stress is overwhelming. If you have too much stress and you don't know how to stress, if you don't know how to cope with stress, if you don't know how to work with stress, if you don't know how to identify stress, then that becomes physical. We feel the most stress from other people, our relationships that we have, right? And remember what I said in the beginning? I told you this, Teddy. We're not doing what a relationship really is. A relationship is relating, is coexisting, is compromising, is coming to a place where we could live together, right? In some type of harmony, in some type of agreement. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? But we have to be able to respect each other's space to the point where we can coexist. The people are not taking the word relationship to what it really is. Oh, I'm in a relationship. Are you really, or are you connected? Are you in a relationship, or is there a connection? Because a relationship is higher than just a connection. A relationship is the ability to compromise, to be able to get to a place where we can share a space. If you're not at that point with someone, then you're not relating.
Either
You're
that
not
or
even,
you're in entanglement.
call it what you want to call it, but at the end of the day, we know what it's not. We know that it's not a relationship because in order, ask everybody that's listening right now, ask yourself this: in every relationship with your son, your brother, your sister, your mother, your job, the people in the store, the people you just meet, ask yourself this question: are you relating to the people that you say that you're in a relationship with? Are you actually relating, or are you dictating, or are you expecting, or are you controlling, or are you? That's not That's not a relationship. I'm sorry. Ask yourself, are you relating? Are you connecting? Are you respecting the other person's version of what a relationship really is?
Right.
What do you think, Teddy?
No, I'm trying to get my thoughts together so what I say that comes out my mouth doesn't seem like I'm attacking anybody.
Oh, you can't avoid that because it's
Just
always
say
the
what you
truth.
gotta
The
say.
truth hurts. The truth hurts.
Yeah. Just say what you gotta
Okay.
say.
So, okay. So, I'm going.
Just say it.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Clinginess, the word clingy, because a lot of people love using that word, right? Not a good habit. It can be a very, very bad habit. It can be a temporary habit if you want it to be, but some people tend to make it a long-term habit. It's not supposed to be a long-term habit, right? Now there's variations of how you can kind of just break down the word clingy, right? It can be a trigger from abandonment. You can feel like you was abandoned, so you feel like in order for you to have somebody around, you have to do the utmost to keep them around. Does that make sense? Am I like on the point with that? Tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm right. Um,
Yeah, I just want to make sure that you're not confusing clinginess with neediness because clinginess is a neediness, but it's a different type of neediness.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like,
Okay.
just make sure that I'm on the ball. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
the neediness is the umbrella. Being clingy is one of those needy. You understand what I'm saying? There's a couple of
Yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
ways
So
to
loneliness is the
this.
umbrella.
Right,
It's the
right,
foundation. It's the
right.
foundation, pretty much. Okay. Um, I want everybody to be mindful because men do this too. Don't think men don't do it, ladies. Men do it. If not, men do it more than women do. Um, believe it or not, and it might not, it might be an unpopular opinion, but here we are. Um, men definitely their level of clinginess without the understanding of what it is can become narcissistic because they're not choosing to work on themselves versus being attached to you in an unhealthy habitual way. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, right? That's what we're here for, so I can have a better understanding. But tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm not on the ball, Mika or Mika, like you know what I'm saying? Um,
Women call it love language.
yeah, I'm not with that bitch. Anyway, I don't want to hear none of that because
I'm sorry. I'm
we're
sorry.
not even we're not even getting into that fucking conversation because
I'm so
that's
sorry.
not going to go nowhere. I don't care for love languages. It's not important to me because that can easily be a facade. Very easily be a facade. You get what I'm saying? So be very careful when somebody say, "I want to learn your love language." Do you really? Because it can go there, but it might not be what you think it is.
Look,
Be
basically,
careful.
what he's saying is that if you're not gonna take the love language thing seriously, don't ask. You know what I'm saying? If you're not gonna actually listen to a person when they answer you about that question, don't ask that question. Don't do it.
No.
Because when you do ask that question, if you take it seriously, then you will act accordingly. You won't try to make them love you the way that you want to be loved. You will love them the way that they just told you they want to be loved. And that's where a lot of people get into that manipulation factor. They say, okay, well, gifting is my love language. All right, so I'm going to keep gifting you, expecting you to give back to me. But acts of service is Mika's love language. So he wants me to cook breakfast for him. But me, I want him to buy. So I'm going to keep buying. You know what I mean? Buying, thinking that I'm actually doing for him. But in all actuality, I never listened to him. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
So that's where it gets,
yeah.
it's mute if you don't act upon it.
We're not saying that love languages are not real. It's that people talk more than what they know. Like there is such thing as love language, right? I speak them all. I don't want to be like shadowed or cornered into one type of love language. I speak all love languages. Look, if you love me, I love you. That's it. I don't even want to go into this too deep. So
No, facts.
yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. Well, my love language is touchy feely. Well, my love language is gifting, right? Well, guess what? When are we going to start becoming flexible? Since when we got to a point where you only know how to love one way?
I don't know how to unfreeze myself when I'm frozen.
You might have to do a dance. Go ahead, try it.
You have to,
Yeah, I don't know how to unfreeze myself.
I have to
I
look
heard,
out.
I heard you got to do a head spin.
Yeah, I don't know how to unfreeze myself. It's not.
I think if you hit the share button, there's a way it says unfreeze.
Freeze. Did it rock? I thought he was.
I don't know, but it's
You
a
doing
good
a
freeze.
robot? Are you teasing us? Are you really?
I think if you scroll up and then come back, it should undo it.
Nope.
Well,
Well, just continue. It's fine. It's fine. I'll figure it out.
Just make sure you
Um,
make it a habit to know not to do that next time. Do it. Yeah, but like, look, I guess we could still hear your voice is a good thing.
Well, okay, thank you.
yeah, true.
At the end of the day, right? What forms habits is becoming comfortable with something. You have to become comfortable with something in order for it to be a habit. Otherwise, you wouldn't repeat it, right? And that goes for good and bad things. And that's what
Right.
I'm trying to express to people, that habits are formed, but if they're formed without you being conscious of them, they become things deeper, right? These things hurt us when we're not paying attention to the habits that we have. Like, and sometimes it takes somebody else to say, "Hey, you're blah 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 blah." And you're like, "No, I'm not," right? And then when you come to think of it, you be like, "Oh man, they're right," right? Tamika, like, I didn't really know that about myself. I didn't know that I was doing that to you. You have the bad habit of, every time that I speak to you, you turn it into you. Have you ever spoke to somebody like that, Tamika, where somebody makes everything that, like, you come home or you go to somebody, you be like, "Man, my day was the worst." No, it couldn't have been worse than mine.
Yeah, that one up person. That person that's always that one up. Well, guess what happened to me?
And
I
it-
just wanted to
Yo, am I lying, Teddy? Am I lying?
No, you're not. You're not. You're not. You're not. You're on the ball with that one. Because what the fuck? Like,
I just told you I had the worst day of my life. They're like, "Well,
you didn't even.
that
You
ain't
didn't even
shit.
acknowledge.
That ain't shit."
You didn't even acknowledge shit that I got going on. You just like, well, my day
You
was
just
good. My day was this and that. It's not work.
you just totally dismiss my approach to tell you that my day has been nothing but shit,
To be
right?
open and vulnerable, and then you just completely shut me the fuck
shut
down.
And
down.
you suck it
Right.
up, Buttercup. I had a worse day in the first hour. I'm like,
Damn. You're like, okay, well, tell me I don't matter without telling me I don't matter. That's usually my response when stuff like that happens.
so then how are we coexisting, sis?
Listen,
How are we coexisting? How are we relating? How is that a relationship?
It's not.
listen. My response to that, my response in my head when somebody does that is like, well, fuck me. Like, like goddamn. Like,
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
excuse me for breathing. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Like,
what the
My initial
hell?
point
it's
is
like,
when it gets turned over to them, I'm like, well, let me just call somebody who actually wants to listen. EF Hutton.
Oh,
and then
damn.
when you do that, forget about it. Forget about it. If that's that type of person that's around you, and then you call somebody else to vent to, and they're still in the same vicinity as you, you're getting all types of dirty looks. You're getting all type of grunts and angry sounds and them huffing and puffing and stomping around and doing all this extra shit. But you didn't want to listen to what I had going on, so why are you mad?
And that's part of a habit that people have, a bad habit, that the moment that somebody says something to you to try to share something, you try to outshine them immediately. You try to say, like, you hearing me is more important than me hearing you, even though you initiated the conversation. Help me understand how that's not mathing. You know what I'm
But not you taking a yeah. I'm still frozen.
Yeah.
saying?
It's
At
just your
least it's
facial
not.
expression, though.
At least
Yeah,
it's not a bad screenshot,
yeah,
right?
you got a nice
Hilarious.
proud face. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what's crazy? This is the face that I'd probably make if somebody stopped me when I was trying to explain to them how my fucking day was.
oh, that's
Love you too,
that
Palake.
is that the "you just try to fluff me" face? Is that what that is
Right.
right there?
Yeah, that's it right there. Yep. We can make all types of meme with that. I would make like 4 different memes with this screenshot. I'm not even
Yeah,
gonna lie to you.
yeah, Frosty, you're right. You're right. There is a time and place to be heard, and there's a time and place to speak, and there's a time and place for everything. And that's what I'm trying to share with people. Get out of the habit of thinking that you know everything. I think it was Maya Angelou that said, "We can do anything, but we can't do everything."
That part. That part.
So, and what's the most important part of communication? It's the listening part, right? So,
Hmm.
how the fluck, notice the L in there, how the fluck, that's PHL, by the way, how the fluck can you be listening if you're flucking talking?
True.
I don't understand that. You can't, there's no way on earth that you can count and have a conversation at the same time.
I'm back, motherfuckers.
Damn. Oh, you back. You're moving.
I am.
There you
I
go. I,
am.
I, I like this. I like the still shot better. I'm not gonna
He was like this.
lie. He's like,
That was
what,
definitely one of
what,
those
what,
painful
what
It's in
fluff?
this moment when Seti indeed effed around and found out.
It's the Christmas in July background for me.
Well,
Oh
I wasn't gonna
man.
say anything because the first thing when he changed it to that, I said chestnuts roasting. You know,
That's hilarious.
Listen, listen. This is a very exhausting thing that to be done. To be here every Saturday in the morning, to do the research, to have this conversation, and try not to reflect so much on your own personal life, so that we can have a general conversation. That's not easy to
Blood.
do. It's not
Right.
easy to come up here, to be here, and have this type of conversation. I challenge anyone to come up here and act like what we're saying is not true. What we're saying is not straight from the heart, straight from the brain, straight from the books, straight from the general consensus. You know what I'm saying? I challenge anyone to come up here. If you have something that can round it up or get to the point better than we could, we encourage you to come up here and help us out, because that's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? Don't challenge us just to make us look bad. Challenge us to make us all great.
and think a different way because
Stop trying to gatekeep in the chat. If y'all got something you want to give, come in and give it. Gatekeeping don't
Yeah.
do nothing for nobody. I'm just
nothing
saying.
at
Listen,
all.
at the end of the day,
Let's go
it's
with the
about
A1K.
love. Yep, love, peace, and joy. I listen to me. This is how it works for me. I enjoy my love, the love that I get and the love that I give. Therefore, that's why I'm in peace. I'm gonna say that one more time. I enjoy my love, the love that I give and the love that I get back, and that's why I'm at peace, because I am enjoying my love.
That part. And we have
Try it.
what? So I'm gonna give you guys some time to give y'all closing. So go ahead, go for it. Whoever want to go first.
Formiga.
I'll start first. I hope that something in this conversation at least help you think outside the box. I hope that something in this conversation allowed you to see things from a different perspective. A lot of times we are afraid to do something differently because nobody that you know has tried it, so you don't know what results can happen from it. But why don't you be the first one to try? That way you could speak on it, and it gives you the leverage to teach someone further. Be a true leader.
That part.
Be a true leader. In order to be a true leader, you have to lead by example. But the best leaders were the best students. Let's go.
Yep.
Mika.
And I'm a compound on him. In order to lead, let's also know when to be led. And you don't always have to be right. Sometimes you learn from your own mistakes. And being humble takes you a long way. As you just said it, gatekeeping
Welcome.
information helps no one. So us being a plethora of people who like to share information and not just opinion-based stuff, which is usually what is created when you speak from your heart completely all the time, is usually based off of your emotional attachment to stuff. Sometimes we do have to come up here and give you guys fact-based information, and then we can follow it up with personal experience with that. And that's when you get a well-rounded idea of what we're talking about. And sometimes you just have to sit back and just read the room. But you already know, in a world full of negativity, choose love and love on purpose, guys.
That part. Babe, go ahead.
Like I said before, coming to this live every Saturday is a habit that some of you, well, mostly all of you have created.
Oh, I can't go with you? No, you can come with me. I'm saying.
So, in that habit, please make other habits to continue not to just absorb the information that you learn here every Saturday, but absorb the information that all of these hosts can provide to you on a daily basis, whether it be purchasing their books, whether it be visiting their lives, whether it be visiting their websites, whether it be having a conversation. If you know these positive people are accessible to you, make it a habit to use your resources. And that's all I got. I hope everybody has a blessed day.
Welcome in, sis. I know I had to mute you because there was some talking in the background, but are you available to speak? I don't know if she is or not. She came up here, so I just,
Did she do it again?
she might have.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, I'm
Sis?
sorry. I did it again, guys. I'm listening and I accidentally hit the wrong button. Anyway, hi to everyone and have a great day. I was
There you go.
listening great live. I'm in the middle of something, but yeah, I accidentally hit the button. Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. Okay. Today was an amazing live, as always. You already know, pat ourselves on the back here, guys, because this was a lot of information to give out. I know it took some time for us to make it happen, but we made it happen. I'm gonna take from my Discord and the conversation I had within the Discord. Next week's topic is what it looks like for a narcissist to heal.
All right, I'll be here.
I know a lot of people think it's not possible, but it's very much possible.
It is possible. But unless you are a narcissist who has healed, I don't know. You might have to ask some people to come in.
I got it. I got you. We're covered. I got you covered on that one. Don't worry. I'm gonna send it to you. I'll send it to you and send it to Hamida. I got you. Yeah, because there's a platform that's Sweetie found. He goes live and he does these things. He is a reformed narcissist.
Okay.
So, and he speaks about it heavily on his platform. So, I'm gonna I'll share you his page so you guys could do your research.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you everybody for coming through. If you didn't hit my link tree, please go ahead and do so you can join the Discord. Grab the book, check out the merch. We have 3 different pop-up stores within the Discord, within the link tree that you guys can go check out. If you haven't followed me on Instagram or Facebook, make sure you go ahead and do that too. Thank you guys for the 82,000 likes. You guys are truly amazing. If you haven't checked out Hormiga's link tree, make sure you go ahead and check that out. Grab Living Above the Norm. Go see what else he got going on. Hormiga's literally all over the place. That man travels more than I've seen anybody travel. So he might be at a state near you, at a city near you. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You might be able to do a meet and greet with Hormiga. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you guys definitely check him out. Damien was up here. Make sure you go check out Damien. If you're not there Saturday tonight, because he is live tonight, make sure you guys go check him out tonight. We're also doing Can't Make This Shit Up tonight at 9 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time. Mika, jack of all trades over here, she goes live Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturdays, from 7 to 8 or 7 to 9, give or take, depending on how she feels. She'll kind of extend it if it's a good live. Make sure you go check out her website, mlbc.com as well. Yes.
Go ahead and schedule your consultation. Go ahead and schedule your sound bowl sessions, and I have some availability for next week. So,
and if you guys have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel because 1 is free, right? Hi, who doesn't love free? And 2, all the lives that we do on here go on YouTube in the audio version. So I put the audio up there, and you guys get to hear everything that went on this Saturday. So it takes about 2 days for us to post it, edits, whole shebang, you know how that goes. And then we put it up there for you guys to listen to. So we'll be doing that every Saturday up until we can, pretty much. So make sure you share the YouTube out to your friends and family that need a little bit of healing in their life and some new knowledge, so that way they can also gain and foster the information that we provide to you guys on here. You know, some people don't like TikTok, so they rather go on Facebook and YouTube. So we also going to be on there as well.
One quick thing too. One quick thing. If you are in this live, if you've been in other lives, if you're here for the first time, and you don't feel a little bit better, just a little bit, a little tiny bit, you may need more help than you think you do, because this is the type of place that should make you feel better, because we're not here to make anyone feel less than what they should be.
Right, right. No, that's very true. We're bringing energy up. Go ahead,
Hmm.
man.
If you are trying to join the Discord and run into any problems, please message Teddy on the back end and let us know. We don't want you to give up getting on the Discord just because you run into a snag. We are more than willing to help everyone, whether technologically not inclined, whatever the case may be. We want to help everybody get on there. So please don't give up if you can't get on there right away. Just send a message on the back end and we will get you in there one way or another. The health resources that are listed on that page in the library are super effective and helpful. Want to make sure everybody has those to access. So please.
Yes. So you guys know the topic for next week. If it does shift, I will shoot a message. I'm gonna attempt to see if we can get him on the panel to kind of speak on his journey. I'm gonna message him, jump into his panel, jump into his live, whatever I got to do to make it happen. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try to make it happen. Because I honestly don't know any reformed narcissists, to be truthfully honest with you guys. So to have one that actually has a platform and speaks on it and speaks on his journey, I think you guys will be very intrigued on what you hear.
He actually was extremely informative in making me realize that I was dealing with a narcissist. I didn't realize that a lot of the behaviors that I was experiencing were narcissistic behaviors. So realizing those is part of understanding a narcissist and understanding how to deal with that narcissist. So please, we'll make sure that everybody, gets to know who he is and figure out a way to deal with that.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna hop off of here. I need some food in my system. I need to shower. It's hot in here. In a world full of negativity, make sure y'all choose love and love on purpose. Keep life simple. Love is the glue. Respect is the flavor. You dig, you dig, you dig. Make sure y'all living within your value energy. And I pity the fool who doesn't mind their mental. Peace.